feel like that was so lower than usual.
It was a little low.
It was lower because I've learned how to work the thing so it won't be blasting in your ears.
But it was low to the point where we could hardly hear it.
No, it's low because the audience heard that.
Oh, here we go.
But you guys didn't have it blasting in your ears because I took the time to learn the board.
But you don't know shit about the board.
Oh, I know how to do this. Go ahead, Eric. Mute that mic right away.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. This is The Get Right. I'm your host, Eric Devontae.
I'm Kelvin Unique.
And I'm Christopher Armani.
Oh, you're not muted. Oh,
I am muted. I am muted.
I'm back now.
That was
Try
funny
me
as
today.
hell.
Try me today.
And today
Wait till
we
next
have,
time I'm on the board.
Today we have some very special guests in the building. You want to introduce yourself? We have a director on the rise.
Hi, I'm Jorge Xalapa Jr., and I'm the director of Sweet Caroline.
And I'm Samara Howell, and I'm the star of Sweet Caroline.
And we are so excited to have y'all in. We've heard so much about the film, and I cannot wait to actually watch it.
Yeah, you
Because
guys have to come find me.
You know, like when someone tries to like describe like a dish to you, it's like, oh yeah, I went to this dope ass restaurant and they had this, and this old cheese and beans and all this other. It's like, wow, I can't.
Who's eating that?
Well, Chris, first off, you don't eat anything.
I'm not eating cheese and beans.
We know because you don't eat anything, and I don't eat anything. Anyways, but you get the description of this wonderful dish, and you're just like, I need to watch and see what everybody's talking about. So I'm excited to see Sweet Caroline. We're going to get into your interview a little bit later, but do you want to like at least like say what's up to the people?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, guys. I am really excited to be here and talk about the film and also talk about everything because I like talking. So
Yeah.
Well, then you're in the right place.
Yes.
This is definitely the place for that.
And good morning, everybody. Really happy to be here and excited to see how this goes.
Yeah.
Super dope. Okay, so let's hop right on in. How's you guys' week been? Do you guys remember your weeks?
I just
remember one
remember.
thing.
Go ahead, Chris.
You can go ahead.
I just remember yesterday.
Do you?
That's all I
Really?
remember is yesterday.
Okay, so shout outs to the good news. The radio station as a whole is a year old.
Yay!
Okay, give it up. History in the making, bitch. Get into it. Now, we went, and guess who was throwing drinks back?
Kelvin?
Hell yeah! Like a hoe in the club.
I had 2 drinks.
Did you?
I had 2 drinks and a shot.
But he don't drink, right?
I don't drink.
That night he did.
I do not drink. But this is what we're going to homecoming in 2 weeks. I said if I don't start drinking now,
here we go.
my tolerance is going to be so freaking trash that when I get there,
Your tolerance is already trash.
I know, but if I didn't have a drink yet last night, like about time they
You just
start
had a drink
hitting.
a few weeks ago.
Exactly, I'm trying to build my top. Can I finish my story?
Go ahead.
it's like a muscle, right?
Yeah, you have to build it up because, like, if I would have went like cold turkey and everybody just handed me dark liquor all day, all night, like I know it's going to be, I would die. I would not make the flight back.
What's homecoming?
Homecoming for went to HBCU, so it was really super big at our university and just in the culture of HBCU. So it's kind of like a big family reunion. So everybody is there. The marching band is there. There's a tailgate. I know at some colleges they only tailgate before the game. Our tailgate happens before the game, during the game, and after the game. So we're literally out there the entire. No, really, this
How
is
the hell do y'all watch the game?
No,
So-
the gates open at
the
6:30
gates
in the
the
morning.
gates open at 6:30 in the morning. If you want to watch the game, you go into the game. You probably stay to like halftime.
Okay.
Well, you can see the whole game.
You
from
can
the
you can see the
tailgate
game from the tailgate. But if you want to go actually in there, you go in there. You come back out, get another drink, drink your drink, go back in there for halftime. Watch the halftime show. After the halftime show, you come back out because we already know the team's going to lose.
Yeah,
Oh,
Sounds like
no.
high school.
because our football team is
Our,
terrible.
our football team is like 0-5 right
They're
now,
on 5. Yeah.
and we're used to not winning homecomings.
We're used to not winning any games.
So
That's like the best game of the year, though.
it is the best game
And
of
we
the year
never
because
win
we
it.
see everybody.
Wow.
We don't go
We don't go for the football team at all.
HBCU culture unless you really have like a good team. We don't really go for the actual game.
Remember Bring It On? How their football team was
course.
trash?
Yes.
But the cheerleaders was...
Oh.
Everything.
Do you have
You-
good cheerleaders?
Yeah, the hood cheerleaders. 1, 2. Yeah, we have really hood cheerleaders. Did you ever watch School Days? You know, like the scene at Mission College when they're at the football and everybody's like, and they lose.
That's how it is.
That's a real depiction of how an HBCU football team and
Wow.
homecoming game is. Like that's exactly how it is. Like the team sucks,
Okay.
but we go for the band and we go for the people
for the food trucks.
And homecoming is an experience. It's New York Fashion Week.
That's a great way to say
for colleges.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be dressed
As an
to
alum,
impress.
You gotta
As
show-
an alum, you have to. There's at least like
show.
4 or 5 outfit changes a day.
A day.
Where university is this again?
Kentucky State University.
Okay, got it,
This is
got it,
Kentucky State.
Ooh, y'all
But
know
this
where
is
my
just
pocket's
yeah.
out.
But no, because you need Friday's the Street Fest, so you need outfit for the Street Fest.
Okay.
Then Friday night is the Step Show, and then there's a party after the Step Show. And then Saturday you have the homecoming game, and then there's a party bus, and then there's the after party. Sunday is brunch and farewell.
So that's 7 outfits.
So
Are you telling me there's a different outfit for the
For each
bus
event. For
than
each
there
event.
is for the party?
for the party bus? Yes.
How many people are on this party? What's capacity?
Well, right now we have
30?
about 3 party buses that are going on between like our young alumni.
Wait, but like the party bus is out there, right? Like it doesn't take you from here to there.
This is fun. This is the funny part about the party bus this year. So they decided to have our young alumni party on campus. So we're literally taking the party bus from one side of campus, driving around town, and bringing it right back to campus.
That seems like a good
Well,
use of
last
money.
year,
Seems
we
like-
took it to a whole nother city. And brought it right back
Yeah,
to
we
this-
right.
yeah.
Like, we're just gonna ride around the city of Frankfurt. If you've been to Frankfurt, Kentucky, it's the
It's the
capital.
size of this room.
It's really it's the size of it. It really is. It's the capital of Kentucky, but it's really like
I guarantee it's a
think
smallest
when you think of Kentucky. That is Frankfurt, Kentucky. So, like, it's literally a circle. So, we'll probably roll around the block about 12 times and get enough drinks and
Right.
foolery and then
That's
come
fun,
right
though.
back.
Get so
I
drunk,
don't-
y'all don't remember where y'all are.
I feel like
Exactly.
I never hear men say you need different outfits for different events at this
I'm
day. Like,
telling
that
you.
is
Well,
like
it's
rare.
only for homecoming though. Like that's the only
Okay.
time I switch up. Like,
I'm telling you.
Usually I'm in this all day, but for homecoming, you gotta get suited. You gotta get all that.
And it's like
Okay.
different suits, or
Well, yeah, or different, like, outfit vibes.
but like it has to be like
You gotta be dressing.
Like
You have to
dressed
be
up.
dressed.
like a feather in your hand.
You can. No, like,
If you wanna make it
wanna
like a
wear,
bird in your
if you really want to, we will not judge you.
It's homecoming. We'll be like,
we
it's
would,
homecoming.
yes, we'll walk up. That will be
You
it.
just
and
gotta
they'd be like,
finesse.
"What is he doing?" But
No,
no.
no.
But
You
the
gotta
young
pull it
alumni
off.
will be like,
Wow.
it's
I
homecoming.
love that.
It's homecoming.
This is your chance
You
to
do
show
what
the
you
people
do.
what you have
Like
done
the
since you
church
left.
hat, the church hat on Sunday for women.
Yeah.
I've never
That-
seen that. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, just in
You gotta-
general. Okay.
yeah, like
a
oh,
big fat
okay.
church
I thought
hat.
it was a movie
Yeah.
or something.
No, you got it.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't go see that.
No,
the church hat. I would actually go see the church
Cicely
hat.
would be in it.
I feel like
With
it would
her
be
hat.
a
Cicely and
maid.
her hat.
Cicely,
Definitely.
Aretha's
And her
funeral
hat.
hat would be part
That would
of
be
the
the story
storyline.
cast.
Okay.
And I feel like the hat probably would have to have like some type of tradition, or it could have some type of witchery
Like the
going
Sisterhood
on.
of the Traveling
Like the
Pants.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Church hat. And it'll have to be passed down like from generation to generation, but they don't know it has like a curse on it.
And it has to get bigger by each.
Yeah,
generation.
each generation the hat gets bigger and like eats the person before it.
I don't
So
like
like
this movie
everybody
anymore.
in the hat,
Like,
like
iPhone
like
is
when you
getting
and then like
bigger.
when you put on the hat, you hear the voices of the past people, and you're like, oh no, why don't all my ancestors talk to me? But the thing is, they're actually in the hat.
Jorge, we found our next
Yes,
member.
we did.
You're welcome. just put me on the church pew. I don't even need to lie.
Right,
Just
right.
have me on the church pew. in
Real
the
low
back.
key.
No, but how was your week?
Only thing I remember is the Jay-Z concert.
That was last week.
That started the week. That was on Sunday.
We did see Beyonce this
Y'all
week.
sure
we didn't
did.
even talk about it.
Nope.
That's the only thing I really remember.
Honestly, I don't remember anything before Beyonce.
Oh, Jay-Z was born.
There is A, B, and
Okay.
B, C. Before Beyonce, after Beyonce.
So you trying to tell me you don't remember nothing?
I
that Jay-Z
don't.
did?
When's my birthday?
Good child.
Wow, the disrespect.
What is this
First of all,
show?
Jay-Z stole the show. That's number one.
Jay-Z did really well, and I threw my rocks up. I
everybody
threw my
did.
diamond up.
Everybody did.
I was there for it, but Beyonce is unmatched.
So she was here. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, she was at the Rose Bowl.
Man, I keep missing.
Yeah,
that.
Jay-Z brought her with her.
Me too. I'm like,
Easy brought.
Yeah.
that doesn't even sound right, Chris.
Yeah, it does.
No,
Jay-Z
it
brought
doesn't.
Beyonce.
It
with
does
him.
not.
Like, she
It
opened
does
up.
not
she
at
was,
all.
She was his backup dancer for a lot of his sets. Was she not?
Because no one else is.
Was she not?
No one else is gonna dance. to
She was
Jay-Z.
not his
she
backup
not?
dancer. She was
She was in
his
the background
encouragement.
She was the entertainment while he was singing.
She had a line of dancers. She had a line of dancers, and they were backing up for Jay-Z while he was performing his songs.
So you're not a fan of Beyonce?
He's a hater.
I'm not a. I mean, she's cool. I'm just not a fan though.
Interesting.
He's a hate.
But I'm not like a hater
Sorry.
or nothing. Like I don't say she's trash, but I'm not a fan.
Imagine he said that.
Calvin be talking shit about her too.
I don't talk shit
stands.
about Beyonce.
You just
I
said
state
she was illiterate.
I
2 weeks
state
ago.
facts about Beyonce.
Whoa!
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
say facts about Beyonce. It's a difference.
You are just trifling as hell.
Yeah.
I hope Beyonce never hears the episodes where you have slandered her.
I hope she does because she knows I'm a real beehiver. Like the real Beehive, if you follow like a lot of these Beehive pages, we have a lot of inside jokes about Beyonce. Like we know she can't read. We call her the giraffe.
She can't read.
Let him tell it. Let him tell
encourage
it. She
this.
can't read or write. Let him tell it.
Oh, child. Our ratings will never go above 10 like this. Never. Just
Eric, how
ruined
was
it
your
for us.
week?
My week was pretty good. I'm still on the job countdown. I have this thing where I try and keep these regular jobs as long as I can until stardom hits, but I'm not doing so great. I think I still give it a month.
You know
from
what?
From last week.
Deduct from that month. So I think that, what is it, a solid
So
three
23
and a
days.
half weeks left?
Yeah, basically.
Until you quit?
I don't know.
Are you planning on getting fired? You
No,
need to
not
start
that-
work. Look, Eric,
not
this
working
is
to
what
get
needs to do.
fired.
You need to start getting fired because if you get fired, then you can get unemployment.
Yes.
Baby, I'm already there.
You get an employment check.
Yes.
Oh well, keep quitting then.
No, I mean,
Wait, you can get unemployment when you quit?
no.
Or don't you have to get
I
fired?
thought you had to get fired to get
I
unemployment.
think you have to get laid off. I think if you get fired, like rightfully, like you did something to deserve it, you can't collect because it's like
Yeah.
that was your bad. But if it's like, oh, we have too many employees, we need to let somebody go,
Yeah.
then you can collect unemployment.
I just explained it to my caseworker, like, look, I'm not there anymore. What can we do now?
Really?
Booyah. Yeah. Communication is key.
So
I
what
need
if
a
did
caseworker.
that and
I must say I need a
Hey,
caseworker because
I'm not there anymore, but really I am there.
well, they would no. You still have check stubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll
Your
know
taxes.
you're still there.
Yeah.
Or I
They
can say I
probably
don't
won't
work
know
at
right
TJ Maxx
away,
anymore.
but
Not right away.
They'll still
There's a
your
cutoff
social
But
date.
security
they
number.
can come back
Yeah.
and sue you for it, and then you're in a world of hurt. So
Yeah.
It's called
It's not
fraud.
worth it.
yeah,
I'm just
don't.
Yeah.
Like
You
messing
can-
around.
I'm
You
writing
can
it out
go
one
to
more
jail.
month, and I'm good off of it. But yeah, the job is. I don't know what's going on there. The kids are running amok, and I'm not talking about the actual kids.
Where do you work?
I work at an apartment complex downtown.
What do you do?
I am a lobby ambassador, but I do everyone's fucking job.
Hmm.
Everyone's
That's a nice
job.
title.
It's a
lobby
cute
ambassador.
title.
Is it one of those like?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
historic
made that
buildings?
sound
Yeah.
so
Is it one of those
fancy.
historic buildings, like really old?
No, it's new.
Oh.
It's brand new, like 2 months old at this point. And that's just the title itself. They made it sound cute because they know that the job description is bullshit. So that's
What
what,
street
it had
is
to
this
be.
on?
Hope Street.
Hope and what? Do you know?
Damn. I'm about to lie.
What's some
No.
landmarks around it?
7th and Fig. Literally around the corner. What?
From
really?
Staples Center?
No.
Never mind.
All right.
The Staples Center's on Fig.
We're gonna figure it out. Either
Yeah.
way, we are holding on, grasping for dear life with this job. Let's see what's next. But I'm not gonna quit and just be jobless because I've been doing that a lot. I'm not gonna quit and just be jobless. So I'm holding on for a month. That means I have a month to find a new one.
You do.
I do.
And Eric, why don't you find a job in entertainment?
Calvin, if it was that easy, I'd have it.
Eric, we're gonna have an intervention
What is this intervention gonna consist of?
because I just feel like it's about to be pilot season. There are
Are you an
PA
actor?
positions.
No.
But you know, I always imagine that with my level of stardom that I'm gonna achieve, I'm gonna get in somebody's show, just reoccurring, and then it'll turn into something else.
I just feel like there are PA positions, there are EA positions, there are so many things that would benefit you in the entertainment industry with your master's degree in journalism.
Thank you,
Apply.
Calvin. I know this. I do
Apply.
apply. I do.
Okay.
And then I get interviews, but they ain't all landed.
Because
Shit.
your titties out.
Look, I will not change me. I don't go to interviews
Let me
like
tell
this.
you, Eric
Oh,
last
shit,
night
I
was
did.
naked.
No, I wasn't. I had more clothes on than I've ever had in my life.
But Chris, one button, he had on a flannel, one button at the belly button
Okay, yeah.
was button.
Yeah, he's
And then the legs was just all out. They were jeans,
They were jeans.
but it was all thigh meat everywhere.
I did the best I could.
And that's how you show up to the interview with your titties out.
Well, God gave it to me. I'm gonna push it.
In the era of Me Too,
Yeah.
you should not have your titties out at these job interviews.
I'm an innovator, bitch. Okay, get into it. Me Too will not stop me. Me Too will not stop me.
He'll stop me too.
That's right.
That was perfect.
Free the nipple.
So how was you guys' week? A lot of hard work. from
It
the
was
sounds of
great.
it.
Yeah, no. Oh God, what did I do? Oh, I went to a private concert for Dua Lipa. Dua Lipa. What did I just say? Dua Lipa. Dua Lipa. And I
Yes.
met her, yeah, because And it was amazing, yeah. And I met Shawn Mendes too. I literally
You
went
met
to two.
Shawn
Wait.
Stop.
What you don't understand right
There we
now?
go.
Stop.
We are in the Shawn Mendes.
You met
family.
Shawn
Really?
Mendes?
I did. Yeah.
Where?
I went to the Grammy Museum for so they have this.
He
thing
was
where,
at the Grammy. Not to cut you off. Go ahead.
No. So I didn't even know. So my agent said, my manager said, we have tickets for these campaigns where they're running for Grammys, and instead of throwing big concerts, they throw little private concerts. Do you want to go? I was like, sure. I won't lie to you. I didn't know who Shawn Mendes was until the night when I was like, oh, that's Shawn Mendes. I was like, oh, Shawn Mendes. Okay, great. And then I got to meet him. I was like, you're great. And then that was on Tuesday. And then I went to see Dua Lipa, who I also didn't know who
Tuesday,
she was.
like this past week.
Yeah. And then on Friday night, I met her and I was like, oh my God, I love you.
You just hobnobbing with all the celebrities.
Well, you know
That's
what? The whole thing was my team was like, yeah, let's go so you can meet them, and who knows, like you may be able to do a music video with them.
Yeah.
They were constantly marketing you and like pushing you out, and it looks like it might happen in the future,
Blessings.
very soon. So
Right.
but it's all like I said, it's all about networking, meeting people. It was fun. It was fun. But yeah, Shawn Mendes was amazing. He's so good.
He is so good.
Yeah.
I still haven't listened to a song.
You
You need
catch
to.
up.
I hear a lot about him, and I'm still not interested.
He is really good.
Start with, what's his first album? Handwritten.
No, don't do handwritten. Start with
Handwritten's
the
actually
second
good.
album. Just go to the second album.
Illuminate.
Yeah.
Illuminate is his best work, honestly.
Was he always a solo artist?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And
He had like
he
the
used to do
Justin Bieber
covers.
thing, right? Where they
He
found him on YouTube.
he used to do
Yeah.
covers of Justin Bieber.
Uh-huh.
And
But
he-
his
he
last album is so grown and sexy
Yeah.
that it really washes away like the teeny bopperness of him. Like,
Well, it's very
oh.
personal too. He's talking about like his
Yeah.
anxiety and
Mm-hmm.
how he just has trouble talking to people, which is really interesting. I think it happens a lot with artists. Like as artists, we're very awkward all the time.
'Cause he's
Especially
very
me.
young,
I'm
too,
so
yeah.
weird, and you can see like in person, he's just like sitting there, like and I'm like, dude, like speak up. You're like
You're
a
Shawn
big
Mendes.
deal.
Yeah,
Like, you're
for
Shawn
you,
Mendes. We had a girl who fainted. She was like,
Yeah.
oh. I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, come on. I was like, girl, get it together.
He's not even 21 yet. I think.
yeah,
I think
he's
dude's
20.
still 19
Yeah.
or 20.
Yeah.
I cannot believe you, man.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
That's a real thing, though. A lot of artists are awkward.
Yeah.
And people always think that because you're an artist, you're not supposed to be. But I think that there's something weird about all artists and art itself.
You have to.
So it's kind of
Yeah.
like,
Michael Jackson was very shy.
You have to have something slow.
Very weird.
it's a
Yeah.
little off. It keeps you going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about your
Backstage,
week?
Different people.
I had like a really incredible weekend. On Friday night, I went to this restaurant called Le Comptoir, which is by
Ooh, say that again.
Le Comptoir.
Is it French?
It is yes-ish. The executive chef is Gary Menez. He started a restaurant in Napa Valley called French Laundry, which if you're a foodie is like has like a bunch of Michelin stars. It's like a big deal, right? It's like, oh, he made French Laundry. Well, he left that after a year, and he's got this tiny little restaurant on the corner. The comptoir translates to the counter, and it's literally a counter, and he's right behind it, and it's at the Hotel Normandy, and there's only 10 seats. And if you...
In the restaurant?
Yes.
Wow.
And they're all at this counter, and you get to watch. And he does an
wow.
8-course prefix vegetarian menu, which you cannot find like any
Yeah.
kind of prefix vegetarian menus. It was so incredible. It was like, we keep talking about it. We're like, his bread, his starter's like 23 years old. And we're like, do you think he had to take it on a plane? Like, did they like stop him and like ask, hey, what's in the bag? And just like, we've been talking about it since Friday, like nonstop. And
Now I'm curious to know how much this 8-course meal was.
Right.
actually, for a prefix menu, incredibly reasonable because it's vegetables, $79.
That's
For
not
8?
bad.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just knew he was about to say $200.
Yeah,
No,
I thought.
well, I mean, our bill ended up being like over 300, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like, yes, like,
Wow.
it's still
Wow.
incredible, really, really great. So that was super fun, and like, and it's seasonal, so we're like, can we go back next season?
yeah,
8 courses.
I would love to go.
How long were you there eating?
Like 2.5 hours.
Oh.
Jeez.
8 courses.
But you don't mind because you're like watching
Right,
the
yeah.
chef and like they're interacting with you and telling. They grow everything in their own garden in Long Beach, so
okay.
so they're totally like, oh yeah, we just picked this yesterday, and
Y'all said 2.5 like we don't spend that long at Applebee's.
No, I
like 2.5.
no,
we
I
sit
didn't
there
think
and
it was a
talk.
problem to wait. It's like, how long were you eating?
Oh,
Because it's
That's
8
a long
courses
time.
of food.
Oh,
So
okay,
you are-
okay,
you have to be
okay,
sitting
okay.
there
Spent 2.5
eating
hours
food.
at Applebee's?
Oh yeah, when we go to Applebee's,
That's
it's
an hour.
it's hella appetizers.
Are you rushing through it?
Yes,
An
It's
hour?
Chris just
Applebee's?
eats.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Chris
also,
doesn't
Longer than an
socialize.
hour at Applebee's.
I like to
He doesn't
talk.
socialize.
There's drinks. There's appetizers to be had.
It's all
That takes
types of
2.5
stuff.
hours?
Yeah,
called an
it
experience.
It sometimes takes longer.
Now, if this is homecoming, I understand.
No.
This is a regular night.
This is like a regular weekend with her friends.
No, 2.5 hours.
You're just catching up with your friends.
But to me, that's not even like. Sometimes I can go for like 3 hours.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's
for
not.
sure.
That's
So,
not
like,
long.
yeah, like I
I'm
had
only
dinner
saying
with.
at Applebee's.
That was
Yeah.
an example. It could be any restaurant.
Anywhere,
If I'm
yeah.
going out to eat and I'm paying the bill, gratuity included, we are not rushing out of the establishment.
Only time we're rushing is like it's McDonald's.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Fast
Because I don't want
food.
anybody asking
And
me for
even
change.
then, yeah.
Hey, you know it well.
Because like you stay
I
too
don't think
long,
I've
I'm
ever
like,
stayed- I
oh,
don't think I've ever been to Applebee's past 2.5. That's a long time.
2.5. Oh, I've definitely been to Applebee's for like 4 hours, and you look up like, oh wow,
Wow.
You
Cool
see
having
different
fun.
people.
Yeah,
I
it's-
love closing a restaurant down. I like being
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
last people there
Yeah.
and being
Some
like,
free
"Oh, we're
food,
sorry
too.
we left."
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Never
sometimes
happened,
you do.
but I'm gonna try
What?
now.
Stay at the
Yeah.
end and maybe you get like free bread or something.
Yeah.
Free break.
or the drinks get better.
Oh,
The drinks get stronger
Tastes like
Really?
water.
towards the end of the night
To get you out of
they're
there.
just like, no.
They're trying to kill you.
Yeah, it's like, I gotta shut down. I gotta shut down. It's not
Right.
more.
And then last night we took a helicopter ride over like downtown LA and Hollywood, and it was
Ooh.
so
Ooh,
great.
can we switch lives for a weekend?
That sounds so pretty.
This was a special weekend. This was not like every weekend, but it was so pretty. It was
bet.
totally worth it. It's like $200. You should go. It's
Okay.
like such an experience. 30 minutes and just amazing.
Do you take like the entire city?
Well, we started in Van Nuys, circled around, went basically like down the 405 towards Westwood, cut across, went up like the Sunset Strip, and then flew over like WeHo and Hollywood into downtown, circled around downtown, came back
All in 30
up.
minutes?
Oh yeah, you're going
Helicopter.
140 miles an hour,
Does it-
and you're
does it-
going
does it-
diagonally.
fast.
So you know how like on an
I mean, that's
airplane,
super scary.
like it doesn't feel like you're going 400 miles, but on a helicopter, did it actually feel like you were going fast?
Not in the air, but if you like blink, then suddenly, I mean, literally, it took 3.5 minutes to go from Westwood to downtown LA. So
wow.
it's like, yes, you're definitely going fast.
Yeah.
But you don't, it doesn't feel like, I mean, you know, obviously the glass is shut. If you
Yeah,
stuck your
right.
head out the window, it might be an issue.
right.
But if, you know, you're floating, like it's like,
that's scary. I can't do that.
oh, dude, you should.
That
You
sounds
should
so
get over
much
it and do
fun,
it.
though.
I
You
would
could
love
fly.
to.
You could do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I can do it in airplanes, but
Same thing.
I don't know. I
It
don't
was-
know.
it
It's
was
just- It's
really
like
great.
so.
The
it's
helicopter's
smaller.
more intimate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like I can do big planes with small planes. Like, what is this?
As long
I
as it's
can't
gonna
do
get me
small
there,
planes.
I don't care.
My dad was a fighter pilot, so I like grew up in small planes, so it felt very normal. As soon as we got in, I was like, "Oh, this is the smell of my childhood." This is exactly what that smelled like. So,
I'm about to look that up. $200.
Right.
yeah, it's so good.
That's a good date night.
yeah.
Right, and it's different
Yeah.
rather than a
I'm
Ferris
surprised it's
wheel,
only 30
which is the
minutes,
broke
though.
version.
Yeah. Get on the Ferris wheel.
Right?
See
No,
the city.
I don't want to, and it doesn't work.
The Ferris wheel?
You get
Yeah,
stuck.
I don't like Ferris wheels.
Oh, and I did that recently, and I was I couldn't.
I
I
haven't.
faced my
I
fear.
have a
but I was like,
confession.
no.
I've never been on a Ferris wheel.
Yeah,
What?
Are you
I've done it
serious?
twice.
Never. I don't like roller coasters. I don't like.
I wouldn't call that a
Ferris wheel's
roller
not
coaster.
I don't see the
coaster.
point of it just going around. Like, first of all, I'm terrified. I feel like it's
Why?
gonna fall. Like, why is it like?
Because
Why?
this is why. Because when it was invented, you had to have a chaperone, and it was like the one time you could be alone for like 2 minutes. So it was like a good place to get a kiss in. That's like the point of them.
No, is
Right.
that really what it was?
Yeah,
That's the
totally.
point. of it.
What?
It's like
It's
100,
supposed to be some kind of
120
romantic.
years ago. Yeah. I had a first kiss on a Ferris wheel once. It was like kind of good. I was like, oh, this is really
And
cute.
then you're like 100 feet in the air.
I
Yeah,
know,
well,
which
great.
is why I just sit in my chair and I'm like, don't move.
Yeah, that feeling of it just like
Like when
yeah.
it shakes and stuff.
Yeah.
That's why I sit on the ground.
If it
Oh,
was
so
like,
then
Even no.
you all hate the zipper then like crazy, huh?
what's the zipper?
Oh, the zipper is that carnival ride that's held together by duct tape and a
Oh
prayer.
yeah. Nope. Nope. Nope.
Where it's shaped like a safety pin, and the whole thing will tilt on its axis, and you're in like a little pod, and
Oh,
then
and it
it
goes
like
like
whirls
this, right?
around. Yeah, so like
Oh,
the
nope,
thing
nope,
changes.
nope. Nope.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I've
so
been on
good.
that. Yeah, I've been on
Nope.
I've made boys vomit on that before.
Yeah, I've
Nope.
been-
Nope.
Did you enjoy it?
I mean, yeah. Like it's if you don't have a weak stomach, get on it. Like if you have a weak stomach, do not.
Yeah, don't.
It's funny because I went to Six Flags, and this is probably the most embarrassing thing, but I kept getting on the rides, and there was this ride where like, oh, we can't close it because you don't fit. I'm like, great, I don't. I was like,
Don't
Didn't want to do it anyway. Thanks.
You ain't said nothing but a word. Okay. And what was the name of that French restaurant again?
Le Comptoir. You want me to spell it?
Comptoir.
I want Kelvin to say it after you say it.
Le Comp. Le
La.
Le.
La.
No, you're saying the feminine.
Le.
Le
La.
Where he get
There we
learn
go.
from?
Now you sound like Chingy.
Comptoir.
Comptoir. You know, the funny thing is, I took French for 4 years,
Did
and I
you?
still I know that le comptoir is trois 3, So is it?
But it's one word, comptoir.
Oh well, hell, I'm.
So it's count. It literally counter.
The counter.
The counter.
Oh.
A masculine
that's what
counter.
it means. The counter.
Yeah, it means the counter.
Oh.
And
it's
LE
le.
is masculine.
Yeah, because it's masculine.
That was the French version. That was the Inglewood version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Le comptoir.
That was the Compton version. Yeah.
We went to Le Comptoir. It was good though.
Real rough. Oh my god. Is it time?
It is time.
I'm excited.
I'm not. Go
Wow.
ahead.
Hit the track.
You got to say.
Do I?
Yeah.
I like to be introduced with it. But either way, it is time for Bitch You Better Read. Ladies and gentlemen, get your library cards out. Amen. It always is. Now, number one.
Number one.
A Florida man will be spending the next 20 years in the slammer for stealing $600 worth of cigarettes. The world. Okay, so the justice system just ain't it anymore. A Florida man was hit with a 20-year prison sentence for stealing 10 cartons of cigarettes. Robert Spellman, who was 48 years old, was convicted of burglary and grand theft back in August after breaking into the manager's stockroom at a Circle K and stealing $600 worth of cigarettes. According to CBS News, Robert already had 14 felonies and 31 misdemeanor convictions prior to the cigarette theft, which qualified him as a habitual felony offender. His constant mess-ups caused the judge to give him a lengthy sentence to provide him with time to truly think about his actions. How do you feel about this story?
You know what? I am so shocked. I had to pull out my calculator. When did cigarettes start costing $60 a carton?
I don't know.
I think he meant like the big ones, right?
Yeah, like the long logs of cartons.
Oh, because I was like, what?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was.
How much is a carton of
He was trying to do a
cigarettes?
Costco type of situation. He was like, "I'm not coming back after this. So I'm gonna take all the cigarettes." How?
I know that like at a fancy hotel, a pack will cost you 20.
Whoa!
God.
Yeah.
This is why cigarettes need to be banned.
Yeah.
Financial reasons.
Or just tax them more.
I'm just shocked that it actually $600.
This story is ghetto as fuck.
It really is.
That's
Where's
why I
the man
put it in
from?
Where
there.
did this happen again?
Where did
Florida.
it happen?
I can't believe you have to ask. It's Florida.
It's
It's
Florida.
always Florida. It's either Florida or Germany, right? Isn't that like the rule?
$600.
I was like,
What was his bail set at? You know?
They didn't even offer it.
It's like $1 million or something.
I guess.
Well, maybe
like,
he's trying to take him for jail, like just contraband.
after
like,
14 felonies and 31 misdemeanors.
Oh,
I
wait.
guess you don't really get bail.
Dude, 31 misdemeanors.
I
That's a
didn't know you
lot.
could have-
That's
What are you
31
doing?
times he got caught,
Right.
too. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
And I didn't know you can have more than 2 felonies.
He is the superhero of fucking up.
He ain't he? He's true to this.
Yeah, wow. I really put this story in here for no other reason than the first time I read it. I was just like, woo, child, the ghetto. That was it.
I'm stuck on $600 worth of cigarettes.
Who-
How do you? First off, how do you take 10 boxes out of the? What are you stuffing them at? What is this?
Isn't Circle K like a gas station?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure he had like a duffel bag.
In a
He
car.
was in the stock room. Like me working in Zara stock room, it's endless clothes. Just throwing it in.
Is that
Throwing
what
it
you
in.
did?
Well, clearly I didn't do it. But
Is that why you left?
Is that why you left Zara?
are y'all trying
Is
to
this a
make a
confession?
scene?
We're just asking.
Are
a
y'all
question.
really trying to make a scene?
just asking
You
questions.
said that just like Zara,
So
you
it sounds
just
like you
take
did
a
it
duffel
before.
bag
I was
and
giving y'all
you
personal
stuff it
experience.
in the
You
duffel
this
bag.
duffel
are
bag.
trifling.
And
In
that
this
duff-
duffel bag.
Chris, check for a silky shirt.
It wouldn't be a crop top?
You probably cut it into a crop.
Okay, right. Well, I've been found out. All right, number 2.
Number 2.
Police arrest suspect in the murder of LSU basketball player Wade Sims. So, for those of you guys that didn't hear, there was a 20-year-old named, is it Dayton or Dighton? It's a different
Dighton.
spelling. Dighton Simpson. He was killed on his campus of LSU in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So now the police have apprehended who they believe is the killer. No, 20-year-old Dighton Simpson is actually the person who they are accusing of the shooting.
Okay.
He was charged with second-degree murder on Saturday. Police say Simpson dropped his glasses during an altercation involving Sims. Police tested the glasses for DNA, which helped them to arrest Simmons. CNN reports that Simpson was taken into custody after admitting to the shooting. LSU Athletic Director Joe Oliva said Saturday in a statement, "On behalf of LSU, I would like to thank the Baton Rouge Police Department. East Baton Rouge's Sheriff's Department and the District Attorney's Office and all law enforcement involving this case for their hard work, diligence, and the pursuit of justice. Along with LSU athletics, the entire LSU family continues to mourn the loss of Wade Sims. Our thoughts today are with him and his family, friends, and teammates. As previously reported, Sims was reportedly shot after an altercation broke out across the street from Southern University's campus close to a Subway restaurant. Wade was rushed to the hospital where he passed away from a gunshot wound. So
Over a sandwich?
No, they were shot by a Subway.
Oh, okay.
Not for a Subway.
You did say they were shot by a Subway. Like Subway did it. Like Subway has it.
Over a
And it's
sandwich.
Oh, that doesn't help either. But
Over a BLT.
that would have made this would have been in connection to number one again.
It would have.
The ghetto.
The get
Shooting over a $5
No, but
foot long.
it is really sad that someone so young's life was taken.
Yeah.
Do we know why they
It's
shot
just
him?
an altercation, but I put it out there because there's just so much crime that's going on, and I believe that we're becoming desensitized to it, and a lot of us don't like to watch the news because we can expect to see murder, rape, and all of that. But at the same time, he's 20 years old. How much life have we covered at our ages? Things he will never even see. He's not going to see his degree. He's not going to see graduation, homecoming as an alumni. Like, this shit is an epidemic, and I feel like we're not taking gun control into consideration. Like, we have our talks about it. We take it to the White House. People are still dying.
You know, it's funny. I was at the barber, and we had this conversation. Now, my barber is really chill.
Okay.
But it's just one person there just want to stir up the pot. Like, we're just trying to have fun, listen to some music, and laugh. But they brought up the conversation about, we first started with the Lil Wayne album.
Okay.
We said it was trash, and they got upset. And then it started going to voting. They said they don't feel like they need to vote, and I wanted to smack them then. And then it was talking about gun control and how we need to have stricter laws on gun control, and he felt to disagree, and his argument was that the criminals are going to get him anyway. And that really just disheartened me, and it made me feel like, do you really feel that defeated, like, in this fight against everything? Like, the criminals are going to get it anyway? You can say that about any freaking thing. They said that about, I guess, like, bombs and shit.
Right.
Like,
The only difference is that
it doesn't
it's
make a
not-
difference.
I guess what he's trying to say, they're going to get it. But the only difference is if we do have laws that ban guns, it'll be harder to get
them. And that's what I was trying to tell him too. Like, I just don't think that we should just be. I understand the Second Amendment right. Protect yourself. You know, do what
like
you
it's
need
not
to do.
1776
But no,
anymore.
and we don't need ammunition and AK-47s. And why do you need that stuff? Like in a residential neighborhood. Like, I think those are the type of things that they should look at. Do you even go hunting? Where do you live at? Like, I can see if you live in a rural area in the middle of Idaho where you are hunting. But if you live in East LA, why do you need these types of guns? We're not hunting.
Right.
That doesn't make sense.
But that's why we have to vote, because
Exactly.
you know, this goes back to like the past 50, 70 years. The people that we have in Congress and the Senate, it's the same people. I mean, not to divert from the subject, but if you looked at the hearing that happened with Dr. Ford, all the people that were, you know, at the hearing, they've been in Congress for like years. So
Yeah.
that's why as millennials we have to. I can't vote because I'm under DACA, but everybody that has a chance to vote, like my niece, you know, and friends and family that can't, they need to go out and vote. I don't care if you're voting for the same people. I don't care if you're voting for, it's not a Republican or Democrat thing. It's just vote. Just vote and make a change, because we're gonna have these people forever. Like, believe
Vote
it or
for
not.
term limits.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I majored in political science, and I remember this was like 4 years ago. I can't remember what congressman we were talking about, but he had been in Congress for like 30 something.
Probably
years.
Strom Thurmond.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He had
Yeah.
been in Congress for like 30 years, and he's like 100. He's like there, like yeah, and,
Yeah, like,
you know,
barely moving
and
around.
He's just there for like no, like move on, just die already.
And that's another thing we were talking about. He was like, well, I didn't vote in the last election because I just feel like we were picking the lesser of two evils. I said, well, even if you're picking the lesser of two evils, why wouldn't you just pick the lesser of it? Like, that makes no sense. And then it's like, well, voting's not going to change anything. This is where it starts, in our local elections.
Yes.
The president is the president. He can make laws and stuff, but there's a thing called checks and balances in this country that we have. And if we aren't voting on the local level to get our voices heard, they cannot make a change in the House and in the Senate. So these things need to happen at home first. Find your local congressman and see what they're about. Don't just vote because it's a blue and a red party. Actually look at what they stand for. look at their history. They will send you a ballot in advance, people.
They sure
so
do.
you can Google. Google is our friend. Google what these candidates are. Yeah. So Google what these candidates are about. See what their policies are, and then make an informed decision. Just don't throw the whole election away and then complain about what's not happening or what is happening.
And call people out when they're complaining, like, well, you didn't vote.
Exactly. And that's what I do all the time. And I'll say, or what are you doing to make effective change?
Yeah.
Like if our government is not going to do it, what are you doing to make sure that your voice is heard on an everyday basis?
Yeah.
Don't just not vote and then stay in your house and then complain. If you're not going to vote, go out and do something that's going to make an effective change in the community. Yeah. But I'm off my soapbox.
That was good, though. The kids needed it. Number 3. Okay, so in lighter news, new Tupac albums are on the way after the late rapper's estate settles a lawsuit.
Child. Number 4!
Are you guys
What?
not here for Tupac music?
He died 20 years ago.
He died in 1987.
Don't do that. You know that ain't right.
No, but
Tupac and Abraham Lincoln shared the same funeral date.
You are trifling.
we don't need a Tupac album. That music wasn't released for a reason.
No, well, okay. After winning their lawsuit against Death Row, because y'all will not. After winning their lawsuit against Death Row Records over royalties owed to the late rapper, Pac's estate will now release at least 2 new albums.
Right.
The Blast reports that news of new music comes after a week after it was revealed that former Death Row CEO Suge Knight is facing 28 years in prison for manslaughter. He hit someone with the car. So according to court documents obtained by The Blast, Tupac's estate filed documents this week stating that the 2 sides have agreed to settle the suit. Shakur's now deceased mother, Afeni, had previously filed the case against Entertainment One, which purchased Death Row a few years back, and claimed that they were owed $1 million. Sources close to the deal claim that a cash settlement was made and that all of it will go to Tupac's estate. They will also receive a ton of unreleased recordings the late Machiavelli rapper made prior to his murder in 1996. Kelvin. That was perfect.
That's the only reason why they're doing it.
It's said that there are enough master records for at least 2 and possibly 3 new albums. Profits from the new music will go to Tupac's beneficiaries, including his sister, as well as large contributions that will be made to charities that meant a lot to both Tupac and his mother.
I
Which
can't
is good.
believe that they argued for that long over $1 million. Like at that level,
Right.
it's like $1 million is like pocket change.
For them, yes. I don't know. Okay, so this is the thing. I'm not a huge Tupac fan, especially coming from New York, but I mean, he had a lot of insightful things to say. He shaped the culture. I kind of want to know what he was thinking before he left, because most rappers around that time were really good about predicting their death, and they had this social awareness. So I would love to know what Tupac was thinking on his way out.
We heard everything he was thinking before he died.
Brittany said, let Pac live his best life in Cuba.
Y'all still saying that he hiding?
He is, clearly.
You know how many years that is
Do
to
you
hide?
know when Tupac died? What age he was?
25.
Do you know? Because you
20
said he
and
died with
5.
Abraham Lincoln.
He was 20 and 5 when he died.
Okay.
Where was all this music coming from?
Him.
When?
Maybe he was working like that.
In Cuba?
When? Yeah.
Here we go.
Yesterday.
Don't encourage them.
Yesterday.
Don't encourage them.
I don't want to hear no more Tupac.
I don't know.
Let this man's legacy be his legacy and let it be great.
You're tarnishing his legacy by giving us music we
don't
didn't wanna
need
hear.
or
We're not gonna wanna hear.
or that he never intended it to be heard.
I don't want to hear how Brenda got raised. The Brenda had a baby. I don't want to hear how the baby got raised on this new album.
The baby died. I don't want to hear how Brenda got out of jail, found a new life, and remarried. I don't want to hear about that part of Brenda's life.
I don't want to hear Hit 'Em Up Part 2.
I'm
No.
sure he has fans that are very
Who's he
excited
beefing
about
with
this.
now?
I don't know.
I don't want to hear California Love Part 2.
I'm not a
I don't want to hear Burbank Love.
I don't want to
never
hear
heard that.
America's Most Wanted Part 2.
I don't
don't
want to
wanna hear
hear
this.
All right, we
Tear
get
Down the
it.
Wall.
All right, number 4.
No,
4.
back to number 3 since you put it in here. I just don't care for these after death albums. Like with Michael Jackson, I don't want any new Michael Jackson music.
Why?
I don't want any new
This,
Prince
like-
music. I don't want any new Whitney music. I don't
Yeah.
want any music that was not out while they were alive because they felt that was not their best stuff.
They were
And
the
also, it's
They
also
did not
like,
want-
they can't express what they were, I don't know.
That's why
Yeah.
they were throwaways.
It's the same
Dude.
thing happening with Jenny Rivera. Like, they keep releasing, I don't know if you guys know
Do
who
they
that is.
really?
Yeah, but it's like that family is just like making money out of her death. And they
Yeah.
just keep releasing and releasing and like,
Is that like the immediate?
Yeah, and it's like, when did this happen? You know, it's like, when did she record these
I
albums?
don't want it.
But the David Bowie album that he released the week he died, though, he wrote that because he knew he was dying, and it's like an album about death. And it's Black Star. Have any of you listened to it?
Yeah, I listened to it.
It's like
good.
his voice is not at the same level as when he was younger, but honestly, like the pathos of him knowing he was going to die and then having it come out the week he died, it's like an incredible experience.
See, I'm okay
so
with
deep.
that because he
had say.
okayed that work.
Oh, he planned it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he literally, like, told them, I want you to release this the week I die.
Yeah.
Like, that's...
So, like, he knew. But my thing is, Tupac did not foresee 20 years from now, from when he died, that his stuff that he was scribbling in the studio will be released to the public. This is like Jay-Z doing a reference track today. And then he, God forbid, he dies by 2040. But, like, it's 2040 and, like, we get a whole new Jay-Z album. He wouldn't want that out. Or let's say even Beyonce, even though like Beyonce's Wake Up REM is way better than Ariana Grande's. Anyways, but I don't think she intended it for it to come out. Like she doesn't want her not up to par work or best work out.
Yeah.
So why are we still? It's tarnishing the legacy.
Yeah, I think
and
when
he
you
just needs to
die,
move on.
your work dies too. You should just leave it there resting.
Yeah.
I only trust it because Afeni was the one pushing for it. And he was close enough with his mom where I'm pretty sure she knows a good amount of what he was thinking. Like
Afeni need a check too.
she's dead.
Well, Afeni's estate needs a check, and that's what I feel like what's going on because this too much. I don't want to hear Tupac featuring Lil Pump. I don't want to hear.
I don't think that's coming out.
Watch.
They're gonna throw just like Biggie when Biggie released that album after he died. Swiss Beats was on it. Lil Wayne was on it.
was a good
Like,
album.
Jagged Edge.
yeah,
No.
Biggie didn't meet them.
Okay,
No,
that
you
was
don't
still
even
a
know
really
them.
good album.
But this is my thing. They're going to have to do things like that because if Tupac had like 12 after death albums, eventually these are just like throwaway verses that aren't full songs. So they have to put something together to make a full song. So they're gonna grab an artist from today and throw them on the track. And like,
Yeah, they
new
probably
Tupac music.
Yeah, just like when Michael died, he had a 25th Thriller album. Akon was on it. It was
Akon
terrible.
on it.
It was
Or-
I
terrible.
remember that Hold My Hand?
Yeah.
That song wasn't
I think it was-
horrible.
I can't remember what song,
I think
but
it
it was
was-
terrible.
It was
something
Hold
like
My
that.
Hand.
If it was
And
on
then
my hand, it was terrible.
even though I think that what's the song he got with Justin Timberlake?
And who?
Don't stop the feeling. Is it don't stop
No,
the
that's
feeling?
not Stop the Feeling.
Love Never Felt So Good.
Yeah,
No,
Love Never Felt So good.
Yep.
It was an unfinished Michael Jackson track. I really feel like he only had the chorus in that first verse, and they said, "Oh, who else can we put on it? Let's put Justin Timberlake on it. Let's complete the song."
Yeah. I'll give you
I'm
that.
okay.
But I mean, either way, I wasn't downloading the album, but I think his fans,
Yeah, I was
they have
gonna
something to be
listen to
excited for. Number 4.
Can I just read what Brittany said?
What did Brittany?
Brittany said Tupac's gonna have a song with XXXTentacion and have a smooth battle with LMA. The Bout Up rumor. The Thug,
Lil
the
Wayne
Thug
did.
Life,
Yeah.
the Thug Life Boot Up remix.
Wow, not the Third Life.
I don't like it.
Y'all in this conspiracy theory, that man is dead.
So why are we getting music?
Who was
I mean, have
hiding
you
in Cuba
thought-
for 30 years?
What if he's like releasing music because he's broke in Cuba?
Exactly.
That's why he's releasing
I
music.
mean, think about it.
Number 4.
I think
Oh my God.
that's what happened.
Or maybe he
That's
wants to
exactly
move
why.
to like the Bahamas now or something.
Yeah, he needs to leave because we know he's in Cuba.
We know he's in Cuba.
They've opened up the United States to
Yeah.
come to Cuba, and people are finding him.
Yeah.
So now everyone's in on this.
Everybody's
Maybe
in.
he's going to North Korea now.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be the best place for him to go.
No one knows him.
No one will go over there and be like, Tupac?
Yeah, he can grow his hair out. He can get a beard.
Yeah, get a beard.
Won't
I
nobody
mean-
know this Tupac?
Well, he's kind of tall.
I thought he was short.
Well, I don't know.
Stop.
No one would know that that's Tupac. Though.
Number
yeah,
4.
yeah, nobody in Korea.
Would-
I don't even need the follow up. A
They
woman
would not
stabs
do
her
that.
boyfriend in the face after he refuses to have sex with her.
What?
Yeah, thank you. Shut up.
There's got to be more context.
A woman stabs her boyfriend in the face after he refuses to have sex with her. So the Mirror UK reports that Catherine Tavares, 27 years
That's sexual
old,
harassment.
It's like an extreme. Did she realize that after stabbing him, she was definitely never having sex with him?
Ever again.
Never again.
Oh, I don't know about that. If she aims right, she can have
Right.
sex with him whenever she wants.
So the Mirror UK reports that Catherine Tavares, 27, stabbed the unidentified victim in the face at her Vero Beach home. He told police that the young woman became enraged when he rejected her request to have sex. She seized a large kitchen knife and stabbed him repeatedly in the face. Tavares was drinking before the stabbing on Thursday, and police said she welcomed them with blood on her clothing and hands. When police searched the house, they discovered drops of blood on the knife. The male victim was sent to a local hospital for multiple cuts on his face. Police caught and charged Tavares with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. She is presently being held in Indian River County Jail, and there are no further details pending in regards to a court date.
Is my man's dead?
He's not dead. She just stabbed him in the face a few times.
Can we point out that that was also in Florida?
Was?
Yeah, Vero Beach is in Florida.
Wow, y'all are really getting crazy.
Like, was she that in need?
She was that horny.
You guys
I think
never
she was
thought-
that drunk is what I read from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the alcohol and probably some mental
That's
issues.
what that dark liquor do to
Definitely,
you.
it's not just liquor.
That's dark liquor.
Yeah.
Kelvin,
drinking
what
the
happened
Henny.
last? Did you stab someone in the face a few times?
Well,
There's a lot of
didn't
confessions
stab him
happening.
with a knife. No,
You are inappropriate as hell. As a hell.
no, I went home and went to sleep last night. No, but you know Henny babies.
No, I don't. What are you
Yes,
saying?
you may be a Henny baby.
I hope not. Wow, I gotta call my mom.
I'm a sake baby.
You a sake baby?
I know that for a fact.
Are
yeah.
you serious?
Yeah, my dad was stationed overseas in Okinawa, and my mom went to visit.
See, I'm a Valentine's Day baby, so I know it was chocolate and Hennessy.
Okay. Wait, does that hit hard? Because I always have it at like hookah bars, mostly Japanese hookah bars, but I never had it.
I don't know.
Yes.
I asked my parents.
No, sake will get you lit.
Will it really?
Yes, that's what Jordan drinks all the time, and she gives me. I take one little shot
Okay.
of it, and then it's potent
Wow. Okay. Good
because it's
to
like
know.
rice wine, so it's like all natural.
Oh. Okay.
So it's like not like 6%.
right.
It's like the real thing.
It's like 20%.
Yeah, it's like
Like
real.
moonshine?
Yeah.
Oh hell!
It's like
now
legit.
I'm really not interested.
No, taste
That
it.
comparison, moonshine. No.
It doesn't taste like moonshine, but it will hit you like moonshine.
Ah,
It's very
okay.
fresh.
Okay, so what's the craziest thing that you guys have done? I guess from being denied sex.
Well, not
I
that
guess.
by in the face.
I don't. I've never gotten even remotely close to this crazy.
I stabbed. I'm just kidding.
I feel like as a woman, this is not normally a problem. Like,
That's fair.
I made a movie about
yeah,
it.
exactly. This film. This film would be the answer to your question.
Yeah,
That's perfect.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah.
There's a moment that my mom and I have an agreement that if she sees this movie with me,
She's close her eyes.
yeah, like when she accidentally took me to Cold Mountain when I was a kid and didn't know there was going to be a sex scene in it, and so she like put her hands over my eyes and ears, and I'm like, Mom, at some moment in this movie, I'm going to put my hands over your eyes and ears, and we're just all going to pretend this is not happening.
This is not happening.
I love.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I love
Oh.
that.
Oh.
That was me. Go ahead.
I don't know.
I don't think I've ever
I,
done
don't,
anything.
I haven't done anything.
I don't think
crazy
I've done
for
anything
sex.
crazy. It was like, okay, thank you. I just walked away.
Yeah.
That's the right response. Good job.
Because anything else is harassment.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. I don't know. I got to think about it.
I just don't. She's clearly mentally unstable because she welcomed the police with blood on her shirt and hands.
Oh, she was proud of this.
She was proud.
Yeah.
I stabbed him because he denied me dick. She probably told the
Period.
cops verbatim.
I'm pretty sure that's what she
I
said.
respect her hustle, but she's crazy.
She's a little crazy.
Smidge.
Do y'all have crazy ex stories? Like, have you? Well,
Chris.
Chris probably has crazy ex.
I was gonna look at you too. It's always the quiet one.
It is.
What are we getting at? Like, what are we saying?
I'm just saying, do you have a crazy? I just posed the question, sir.
Like, but what do you mean? Like, do I have a crazy ex story? Like, what do you?
Do you have any ex experiences that have been crazy?
I broke up with the ex one time and she threw a doorknob at me.
How did she? How
Did
did she
she
like?
tear
She
it off?
yanked it. She yanked it off. And
Whoa, were you dating Wonder Woman?
Right.
she was mad because I didn't want to be with her anymore, and I told her, and she got pissed. Literally yanked the doorknob off, threw it at the back of my head. All I did was like, "Oh shit!" Like, and it looked like that was a fucking doorknob.
Did you run afterwards?
No, I just sat. I didn't know what to do. Like, I got a doorknob threw at me. Who has a doorknob threw at them?
I would have ran like Tina.
So I just sat there. Like, I just sat there, and she
the
slammed
middle
the
of
door.
traffic.
And she slammed the door, and I was just thinking, like, you can't get in now. You just threw the door. you
Yeah,
just
so
threw
now
the-
you're good.
How are you about to get in?
You're good now.
Yeah.
Just shut the
So-
door.
But she eventually got back. I don't know how she got in, but she just got in.
Yeah.
So-
she's-
And then what happened?
I left the following Friday.
You
Was it
stayed
her
there a whole
house?
nother week in the house.
I think that I want to say this happened either like beginning of the week or the middle of the week. I just know I left on Friday.
Chris, you slept in that house?
Where else was who? I didn't know anybody.
She could have killed you in your sleep.
Right.
Well, I slept in the other room.
For anybody to yank a doorknob off and throw that thing,
There is
I'm
no
not
such thing
sleeping
as a
in
lock.
that house. I'm not eating in that house.
I don't know.
You lock
I
in
didn't have
the
nowhere to
doors,
go.
Chris?
I didn't have nowhere to go.
Open on the street,
What?
I didn't have anywhere to go.
in the car.
That's the craziest thing that happened to me though from an ex. She yanked the doorknob off, threw it at the back of my
She
head.
could have gave you a concussion. Mild,
Yeah.
but a concussion
Yeah.
nevertheless.
And I was so confused. Like, you really just threw a doorknob at my fucking head.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow.
I don't have a doorknob thrown at me. In college, I think I made one of my exes mad, so he like put like lotion all over my stuff in my room.
Are
so
you
like,
serious?
yeah, so like I walked in, like the lotion was like all over the bed, on my computer, like on my desk, like just pissed.
I would have whooped his ass. You know how much of a
But
mess
that's
that
abuse,
is?
and I can't whoop anybody's ass. But I was so
That's abuse.
fucking.
That is abuse.
I was so fucking over it.
Why lotion though? Like, what does lotion do to clothes?
I don't think it does anything to clothes. Just the annoyance of it there.
He
That
should
you have
have
to like
Vaseline.
wash everything.
He should have did
Should have
Vaseline.
did bleach if he was going to
Bleach,
do some damage.
No, I didn't. No,
Don't
why are
put
you giving people
anyone
ideas?
ideas.
No.
Yeah.
If
Lotion
was
was it's just enough to annoy you that you like, now I gotta wash all this shit. It didn't ruin anything, but it's like I gotta wash all this shit. Now I got lotion on my computer, like all over my desk and stuff. That's tedious work.
It is.
Bleach on everything would just made it smell clean and disinfected it.
It would have changed the
No,
color of your clothes. It would have
and-
broke your technology.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And it would have
but-
been effective.
But I think they did it with the thought like, okay, if I do this shit, we may get back together. But if you bleach them, you can't come back from bleach. You can't come back from
Was
bleach.
he trying to come back?
I think yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we got back together after, like a couple weeks after, but
Oh, you see.
Why?
I like crazy.
I was aiming to kill. That's why I was saying, get the bleach. Go off. But if you're trying to come back, yeah,
I
no.
think that- yeah.
Bleach isn't the way.
That was like
How did you tell him that you were like, I'm okay about the lotion? Like, how did that
I never said I was
conversation
okay. But we did have a conversation. Said, why the fuck would you just put the well, I was mad. And that's the first thing I seen. It's like, okay.
But I
How much
was
lotion
just
did you
wondering about
have?
the train of thought of like, I want to do something. The lotion. Like,
The
we just
lotion.
got the
Yeah,
lotion.
yeah.
I think it's just what's there. I don't
Yeah.
think
It's right there at the
it's very
moment.
rational. I think it's like, oh, look, there's a bottle. Ah.
Even baby oil. Baby oil
Don't
would have
give
hit.
anyone
Yeah.
ideas.
Yeah.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
I am really here for
Coming up with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, I promise I
What
am
an
not
Angela
trying to do
Bassett
anything.
are you doing?
Oh, wow. All right, number 5.
You ain't got no story?
What?
Do y'all have any story?
I feel like
I have no
I feel like I
story.
gotta be real. Like as a woman, crazy ex stories are like you gotta call the cops kind of stuff. It's like not stuff that anyone's gonna be like laughing about or
Yeah.
happy about. It's gonna be like a bummer. So we
Like
should just
that.
move on.
Got it. Damn. Lotion looking pretty good now.
I know. I'll take it.
Jorge?
Huh?
Crazy ex?
Oh no. But this one time, no, I'm just kidding. No.
I have none, and I'm not trying to gain any.
Does that
So-
mean that you guys are the crazy exes in those
That's-
stories?
Brittany said she put hand soap over her ex's toothbrush.
Ew,
Oh, Brittany.
Why are y'all so crazy?
Girl.
that could poison them.
Yeah.
And it's nasty.
Wash their mouth out with soap.
Did anybody see Phantom Thread?
Yes.
Okay, so it's one of those movies that got nominated for Oscars last year, and like I don't think you're gonna see it, so I'm just gonna spoil it. Sorry, anyone online who might watch this and whatever. It ends with like the lead poisoning the Daniel Day-Lewis character, and I didn't think I could ever be happy that a character is poisoning another character, but I was by the end of it. I was like, good,
Yeah, because
poison
he's
him.
into it.
Yeah,
So, yeah, it becomes they have
It's
this relationship
great.
where like I need you to poison me so that I can love you again and you can take care. It touches with
like Munchausen by proxy
Yeah,
stuff.
like yeah.
okay.
That's the thing where like people like to get poisoned and then you know mommy takes care of me.
yeah.
That is so weird.
It's
It
kinda
was weird,
kinky.
but it was
But it's
interesting.
very interesting.
Why don't you just eat from like a food truck and get and then you can
Rat
take it?
poison in it.
Yeah, why? You don't even need that at though. You just go to the food truck.
That is a new level of kinky.
I'm not here for that.
I'm not
It's
interested.
like Sharp Objects. You guys should watch that.
Sharp. You're just giving us all these. Netflix
Or
night.
Sweet Caroline.
We're gonna
Yeah,
watch
you
Sweet
should watch
Caroline.
that.
That's
We're
the
going
plug.
to watch.
I
Sweet
think you
Caroline.
guys are gonna watch this and then you guys are gonna like never invite me again.
Well, actually, let's get through this so we can talk about it. Number 5.
Number 5.
So a mother is sued by a nanny after she accidentally sends a racist text message and fired her. According to the New York Post, Lindsay Pelasco, Flaxman, wrote a text message for her hubby Joel after meeting Giselle Maurice for the first time. The text message said, "No, another black person." And Lindsay believes she sent the message to her husband. In reality, she accidentally sent it to Maurice. Alarmed by her mistake, Lindsay immediately fired Maurice and said she felt uncomfortable. She added that she expected a Filipino nanny and that Maurice did a bad job. Maurice, who was 44, is now suing the couple for discrimination and compensation for unpaid wages.
As she should.
Maurice said she was promised $350. She was promised $350 per day as a live-in nanny for 6 months. The couple only paid her for a single day and sent her home in an uproar.
Damn.
She says, I want to show them, look, you don't do stuff like that. I know it's discrimination. Joel says his wife's text messages were misconstrued and that Maurice cannot be trusted after she was offended by the message. My wife sent her something that she didn't mean to say. She's not racist. We're not racist people. He added that he and his wife...
by every racist.
He added that he and his wife did not owe Maurice any more money since she only worked for 1 day. I'm not someone who has millions of dollars lying around to just pay off people that are coming after me for extortion. And now you're playing straight into her hands? My wife was 2 months off having a baby, suffering from a very difficult situation. You're going to go after someone like that? That's not a very nice thing to do.
I always like when people say, I didn't mean to say that, but you did. If you said it, you meant to say it.
You typed it.
And I'm going to tell you why.
It was premeditated.
Right.
I'll tell you why.
So unless autocorrect is like...
all them O's. No.
Yeah.
Something similar happened to me. I sent a text. It wasn't racial though.
I was like, hold on, confessions.
I was texting my manager and I was texting the host of a show where I was doing an interview, and he did it. I was like, you know, at the Sunset Gallery Studios, like, I need to park inside. He's like, yeah, the parking is restricted. We can't park in there. So then I tell my manager, like, he's not letting me park inside. He's like, just go in there. And I was like, I think he's just being a little. I said that, but we're cool. Like, the host and me were cool. But he's like, Jorge, did you meant to send that to someone else? I was like, oh my god. I was like, yeah, but I meant it. I was like, you're being a bitch. I was like, you're not letting me park inside. But it was funny. It could have been worse, but
right. This, on the other hand, though, is not. And it's the thing about it is the cover up and the fact that the husband hopped on the bandwagon. And it's like, you so blatantly are prejudiced towards this woman and you're not trying to pay her.
I feel like, too, like, I kind of get, like, okay, you're going to fire her. I understand not paying her for the full 6 months if she only worked 1 day. That's, like, reasonable.
Right.
But the way they're defending it...
It's horrible.
He's like, you're an asshole.
Right.
Like, you're just, like...
Oh, wow.
No one is owning up to anything.
Yeah.
Right. And no one is owning up to anything.
No, nobody.
And it's so blatant.
You have to pay her for at least 2 weeks.
At least.
In the time it takes her to find another job.
Yeah.
Like, that's...
But
and then I think they're trying to swing the whole postpartum depression in there. They didn't say what serious situation she's coming
depressed.
off of.
It's just
save
2
it.
months. She had 2 months. She'd be all right.
Yeah.
So, like, my thing is not another. So, what happened to the babysitters before?
Yeah,
right.
So, like, how many babysitters have you gone through in 2 months? Is this your first child? Is this, like, what exactly is going on?
That
That
problem
you?
with black people. Why do y'all keep hiring black people?
I'm pretty. What's her name?
Lindsay?
Oh well.
Why does it matter that...
They can't tell from the name.
Why does it matter that the nanny is Filipino?
I don't know.
You said you're expecting a Filipino nanny.
Unless they're Filipino and they wanted a nanny that could...
For the culture.
Yeah, for the culture.
They're
and
not Filipino. Her last name is Flaxman.
I don't know a lot of Filipinos.
I think they think that if they're Filipino, they'll be like more subservient and helpful. You know, I think it goes to their racism.
That is a thought.
I think that's
They played. I really hope she sues them for
child, I hope that they just. Ugh.
The kids are always running amok. I am exhausted. Right.
I feel bad for the kids.
I do too.
Yeah.
Because imagine how they're being raised and what they're being taught.
Yeah.
No, imagine like you ever Google your parents.
Oh God, don't
Google your parents.
don't do
Yeah,
it.
you ever Google your parents?
Don't.
You never Googled them.
I'm going to now.
Yeah.
Google your parents.
I want to now.
I've Googled my mom and my dad.
And
What comes
Stuff
up?
actually comes up.
Yeah, like just like if you never Googled yourself.
Yeah.
My Twitter comes
Every
up.
day.
My Facebook comes
Oh,
up.
I Google myself. YouTube videos come up. Like tweets come up. Like all
every
types of
day?
stuff.
Yeah, I do. I
You
Google
s-
myself.
yeah, you see what people are writing.
Yeah, because I'm doing this series, by the way, which I want to talk about, and they're doing all this press about it. I'm like, I want to read. And yesterday, like, I read something really annoying, and I was upset. I Google myself every day.
Yeah, and I Googled my parents just to see what was out there because me and my dad have the same name. So I want to know, like, if you out there doing some shit, I need to know what I'm looking out for. But like once they get older, they're gonna Google their parents' names, and this is gonna pop up.
That's
Not
true.
only that,
So then
but
they have
they've
to talk
gotta,
about it.
They've got to be like, well, what happened to her? Why is she gone?
And then the
Yeah.
mom's gonna be like, "It's your fault because you were born and I was depressed."
Yeah. So like,
At the end of it, yep.
yeah, that's what she put it on. She put it on the baby.
Yeah.
That's
So I
foul.
just think that that's so trash.
But that was all for
Trash.
bitch. You better read.
Thank you so much. So we have some special guests in the studio today, which you all have been listening to, and they've been giving a lot of good insight. But I really want to jump into Sweet Caroline, and I want to talk about the new series and everything. So for those who, without giving away the movie, tell us a little bit about what is Sweet Caroline and what can we expect from this.
Do you want to tell him?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you should. It should
Okay.
come from you.
Okay.
Introduce your character as well.
Okay, so my name's Samara Howell, and I play Caroline in the movie Sweet Caroline. And it's the story of a woman whose behavior is putting her relationship in jeopardy, even though she doesn't realize it. Man, without giving anything away, that's so hard. I'm like, what do I even tell you? She begins to see visions of another woman who starts to kind of tell her what to do in her life. I think that's probably as much
Yeah.
as I could comfortably say without giving anything away.
So the story was initially inspired by postpartum, and you know how women
The text message.
yeah
Right,
yeah.
right.
How women deal differently, and they're always being they're from my point of view, they're always being judged, and it's like, why are you depressed? You just had a baby. It's the best thing to happen to you. But other things play in the story, and then she starts to see sort of like an alter ego of what she could never be or what she's expected to be, and it's just kind of messing with her the whole time. So just think of it like as a psychosis that's just following her the whole time. And it was a really interesting film to do. It was very dark to do, and it was fun. It was fun, and I can't wait to show it to you guys.
So what was the moment where you were just like, I think that the masses will take well to this. They're ready
I
for
don't
Sweet
know.
Caroline.
I don't know. I'm nervous to see people's reaction because I'm getting so much feedback where I had a critic who's like, yeah, I suffer from depression and this was too strong. This was too much for me. It was too graphic. And, and then I get other people who are like, this is good. This is something that we need to talk about. It's definitely 50-50. Some people find it boring. Some people find it very interesting. And it's just, I'm a huge fan of long takes, and it's a little slow, but it's just the film. It makes a point across. It's almost like it has a build up. It starts very slow, and then in a moment it just takes off. Like you don't even know. Like we went from 0 to 100 in a second, and I think that's the cool part about it. I mean, for me at least, I'm very happy with the film, and I hope people accept it as accept it well. And if not, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah,
Right.
But I think it's
Right,
I
out
think it's
there.
important, especially mental health awareness, and now especially like with all these school shootings and these massacres, and the first thing they say is that they suffer from some type of mental illness. And I think if you're putting a film out there that shows the real side and the real effects of mental illness and how it actually affects those people who aren't going out and doing crazy things,
Right.
or I don't know.
And
if it
that
does
was the other
anything
thing
crazy.
too.
But like,
Because
I don't know
put
if
a
I
real
do
face,
either.
put a real face to it.
Right, and we're always talking about, like, again, school shootings or whatever happens, and it's always, it's mental health, but and we're so quick to talk about it and support it, but we do nothing about it. And one of the things when we sat down to watch the first screener, my producers were just saying, it's just there's these takes, and it's what if we do this? What if we change it? And I'm like, no, it's just I want to tell it from a very raw perspective. There's I won't tell what the scene is, but there's a scene towards the very end where she does something to her husband, and it's just kind of like. Even my family's like, what were you thinking? Like, what was going through your head to write that? I'm like, I don't know. I just think that this is the stuff that happens all the time. And, I was really, I don't know if you guys have seen Gone Girl. I saw Gone Girl, and I went home and I wrote this.
Okay.
Wow.
It has nothing to do with it. It's no... Gone Girl is, of course, about mental health with her as well, but it's a completely different storyline. But so far, it's been compared to like Gone Girl meets Black Swan. And there was this critic that came out the other day. He's like, Part 1 Black Swan, Part 2 Crazy, and they were like, it's a very crazy film. So,
So-
I'm excited.
Walk us through the process of you're saying, okay, I want to make a film. What is the day-to-day steps? Like, how do you get it from the mind to the paper?
I think that it's just I'm really crazy when it comes to writing. I've always had that, like, if I get an idea, I'll just go and start writing, and that's exactly what I did after I watched Gone Girl. And I went home and I sat for 17 hours straight, and I just put out the script, and I had this idea about a woman who starts to see her double, and just starts taking over her life to the point where it drives her crazy, it drives her delusional. And I didn't know how to I could connect that with like with something day-to-day life. So she actually happens to be a therapist.
Okay.
And we always expect therapists to be like well put together and have everything 100%, but therapists also need therapists to vent, and and that's something that I touch on the film as well. Not so much that she goes to a therapist, but she kind of just takes everything and she bottles it up.
That was actually one of my favorite things about this character, is that because I was playing a therapist, it was like totally fine that nobody had called me out on my shit yet, because it's like, well, I would know. I'm a therapist. Like, no, that's not crazy. I would know. This is totally healthy. And that, like, I can just argue my way into everyone being like, yeah, you're fine.
And that was going to be my question to you, because you seem like a very happy, bubbly person. What is the process in the mind to go to someone who is going through something, or even depressed, or like having to have those tough scenes? Like, how do you talk yourself into that?
Yeah. Well, I think the easiest point of access is understanding that on the bottommost level, nobody wants to feel this way. And so every action is a way to feel better. Even if it doesn't seem like that to an outside person, it's trying to figure out why any given thing would hypothetically make you feel better. Like, if I do this, I'll feel better. And just figuring out how is that going to help? How is that going to make me feel better if I do this? You know what I mean? So I think that's like sort of the access point in. And then just being, emotionally accessible as an actor.
And it also, did you ever?
No, I was gonna ask, were there any moments where you were just like, I'm starting to feel myself going a little crazy, like getting into the character?
I mean, honestly, the biggest thing was like for like 2.5, 3 weeks afterwards, like I was just kind of depressed.
After we finished, right?
Yeah, after we finished, I was just really bummed. And like, I'm not sure how much of that was that like I'd been in a quasi-hysterical state for hours a day, many days in a row.
Right.
And how much of that was just like the letdown of being like, oh, now I have to go back to looking for another job. Which is like what it being an actor's like, right? It's like, yeah, I booked it. And then it's like, I did it. And then it's like, oh, now what? Forever.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So what was it about this character that really spoke to you? You said, this is someone I have to bring to life.
I think that, I mean, first off, it's just a great challenge as an actor. Like, it's just nice to have something where you can just really like sink your teeth into it and know that this struggle is going to be multi-layered and happening throughout a course of time. And also, I don't know how much you know about film shooting, but you have to shoot them out of order. So keeping track of like, where am I on the escalation of crazy is like kind of like a fun challenge to be like, what are we shooting? What day is it? Like, okay, what has just happened? What's about to happen? How crazy am I? Have we gotten there yet? And so it's like almost like a puzzle in that way. And so that's like kind of exciting. And then also just, I think it's important as an artist to be empathetic and to understand as much as we can about others, and therefore it's necessary to push yourself to understand situations that you would probably never be in and try and go there. You know what I mean? I mean, that's like the challenge, is to go where you've never gone before, right? So I think that was a lot of the attraction there.
Cool.
Super cool.
Now, we Googled you. And we've seen you got some credits,
right?
And your spectrum is very large of what you write and what your movie's about. How do you choose what type of movie or series or what you're going to write about, and how do you develop that story to make it so different every time?
Well, I started my company, Mighty After Dark Pictures, my production company, in 2014, and my goal has been to shoot a film a year and have female protagonists. That's very important to me. Every film that I have is about a woman, and it wasn't until recently this year when a couple weeks ago, actually, I wrote this 8-episode series that we start producing in February, and it's touching on LGBTQ issues, and to me, it's always been about just touching on issues that people find taboo and trying to write them in a way where people can come and watch them and say, okay, I understand it. I always tell people my job is not to be an advocate or anything, because I am, but I don't want to teach whatever I believe. I don't want to put into people. I think that people should just gravitate to whatever they believe about. But to me, it's always been about issues that nobody wants to talk about, and try to make them pretty in a way where you feel comfortable watching them, and at the end you don't feel comfortable watching them, then that's on you.
Right.
But that's what I gravitate towards most, and especially, again, my films. It's very important for me to make sure that we have a story that's authentic, and the way that happens is by also letting the women that come into my films have their voice and say, you know what, this is great, but this would be better if we do it this way. Because when we start giving them the chance, and actually that statement's terrible. When we start working together as a team and allowing women to speak their mind, I think that's what's most beautiful, because that's how you get authentic projects.
Right.
I also think too that like 50% of the planet has not historically been allowed to have as much of a voice, and it's kind of like, why aren't we using 100% of our assets?
Right.
Yeah, and also not being, speaking up and just saying, I'm going to do it. That's what I've been doing. I've been doing this for 4 years now, and it's been like that. It's been collaborative. The film that I'm shooting now, 80% of the crew are women. And I didn't make it that. It's not like I want to be like, oh, I want them all to be women. It's just it happened, and I think that's because it's everyone's work to feel comfortable, to be able to be open to ideas, and also saying, you know what, I have an idea, and they know that I'm not going to shut it down, because I don't work that way. I invite ideas, I invite improvisation, I invite collaboration, which I think it's beautiful, and it's something that a lot of people don't understand. One thing that upsets me is I walk to set and like, oh, you're the director. Like, no, it doesn't matter who I am. I'm still part of the process, and I think we all need to collaborate, which is something I learned in this movie, because I had a real hard time directing this film. I became a monster doing this film.
Was it because the content was
cried
heavy?
a lot. I shut down. I would hide in the bathroom between takes. It was weird. It was a really weird experience. So weird that I think that all the crew that I work with, we're still friends, but we did kind of all just went on our separate ways, and it was and now I talk about it and I say, well, I think that was my process. But it was tough. It was tough to make this film, and after weeks after that, I would have these dreams, and I think we would text each other, be like, we had the dream that we forgot about a scene or something, and it's like it just kept haunting us, which is which now I think it means that we did something to be proud of, something good.
Good. Well, speaking of processes, when you were looking for Caroline, what were you looking for in the women that were auditioning, and what made Samara Caroline?
You know what? It's so interesting. Do you want me to tell him?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so it's so interesting because I wrote the script. I had given it to her, and then there was another actress that came on board and said, I want you to play this other role, and I'm going to have this actress play Caroline. But she flipped out. She had this...
The other actress.
She became this diva from out of nowhere, and she had sent an email to my producers insulting everybody, so I fired her.
Yeah.
And then I came to Samara. I was like, hey, Samara, I work with you. I've known you. You did my first film. What do you think? And it was funny because it was like a week before we started shooting, right?
Yeah.
And
There's not a lot of lead time.
and she was like, yeah. Like, she was so on board from the beginning. So I think it wasn't more like what I was looking for. I think Caroline Samara found Caroline, which is really cool because we didn't plan it. And when you're working with family, it always works out, because I consider Samara family. It always works out. And I was happy. Like, I was comfortable as a director. I was like, you know what? We're going to get this done. And I remember I kept freaking out, and she said something to me. She goes, just remember, worst case scenario, this film can flop, but at the end of the day, you don't have a studio behind you. And this is what we do. And they give you that confidence. And something that I didn't feel with the other actress. And I'm happy that it happened that way. I'm happy that it happened that way because, again, I had given you the script initially, but we never thought about it because when I wrote it, Caroline was supposed to be in her 40s, and I was like, maybe I don't want people to think that what they do all the time, they cast someone super young to play someone super old. So then it came down to just play your age and let's do it, and it worked out perfect. I mean, I loved it, and because I've seen your work, and she always does things that are more, I guess, conservative, more like calm. Her last film she played a nun, and then she went from playing a nun to playing this, and I was like, yes, yeah, I was so happy. Yeah.
So, as a director of color, there's not a lot of recognition for people in that space. How do you feel about, especially like with the Oscars so wide and all the other stuff and the mainstream awards, do you feel like that more directors of a particular era or just like genre are getting their voices heard more, or do you feel like there's still some leaps and bounds to go?
I don't think they are, but I think yes and no, I should say that. But I think it all comes down to us too. We have to create our own content. One thing that and it's very difficult for me to say this because I don't want it to come off the wrong way, but since I started making film, I've heard about like, oh, you're Latino, it's harder for you, and you're gonna get the door shut on you and stuff like that. But from the very beginning that I decided to make film, I only concentrated in my art, and I've never taken into consideration the color of my skin, my sexuality, or anything like that. And when I walk into a room, I make sure that I feel that I'm part of the room, you know, and I'm not in the room because of the color of my skin or my sexuality. And to me, it's all about the energy and the universe. And I always tell myself, if he's there or if she's there, I can also be there. So I've never thought about, because I never thought that it's been difficult. If anything, I've just been hustling and keeping busy. But that it goes back to me knowing that because it is difficult, I have to create my own content. And recently, I've started to show that I started to see that people have seen my work and they started to know who I am. I'll go to parties and be like, "Oh, you're the director of Valentina. Oh, you have Sweet Caroline coming out." And it's people that are people that are in the industry, and people that I've seen their work, from producers to directors, and it's interesting. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen The Room with Tommy Wiseau, but I walked into the room and he knew who I was. Of course, a lot of people make fun of the movie, but to me, he's an idol because he went out and did it. And I wasn't expecting that he had seen the trailer for my film, and he talked to me about it. So it's super cool because, again, everybody always brings up the, you're Latino and it must be hard. But I don't. I'm very careful with the words I choose. I don't even like to call myself a struggling filmmaker because you're not struggling. Well, you don't call upcoming doctors, struggling doctors, or struggling attorneys, or struggling journalists. Like we're all in the path of success, right? And it is up to us where we want to take that success. So I think they're not giving the opportunity, which is why we need to start making that opportunity. One thing I applaud about the African American community is that they all got together and they started making films after the whole Oscar So White, and it's working, and they're uniting together. And I'm gonna say this, and I hope my Latino filmmakers hear that. I think they need to do that. I think Salma Hayek needs to get together with people. I think Alfonso Cuarón needs to get together with people. I think Gina Rodriguez, she calls so much about making Latino content. I think they need to get together, have a meeting, sit at the table, and say, okay, let's stop talking about it and let's get it done. I think the Alma Awards and all those awards that these other awards that just happened for Latinos, they had this article about, and Hollywood's still not paying attention. Well, guess why? Because you're not getting together to get it done. Like, you guys have to stop talking about it, get in the room and talk about it. There's so many people out there that want to do it. I'm here. Call me. I mean, I'm doing it. I don't know why you guys keep complaining. You guys have the money, have the backing from studios. Like, I don't understand. Look at your brothers and sisters who are doing it and learn from that, and let's get it done.
It's interesting because we had a similar conversation not too long ago about how, as African Americans, we were talking about how we don't value what we already have. Right. We always want to go to the outside things to get our value from that instead of taking appreciation in our own community and what we have. And that's pretty much what you're saying about the Latinx community, like making sure everybody takes pride in what they already have and build in our own, and then they'll have no choice but to take notice of what's going on.
And then also remember that because here's the thing, it's not like what's the right word, Caucasian white people. I mean, it's not their fault. Like I have this thing in mind where I tell people, you have, let's say you're running a restaurant and you only sell hot dogs, and that's been working for you for 70 years, and you're scared because you're comfortable and you want to keep making money, and then someone says, well, let's introduce a chili hot dog, and it's like, well, I don't want to try that because I'm scared. Doesn't mean that I'm racist up against chili hot dogs. It's just that as a business because I went to business school too, from a business perspective, sometimes it's hard to make those choices. So it is our job to teach them and show them, whoever's sitting at the top, it doesn't matter if you're white, Chinese, whatever, to show them that you can take a risk, and that's how you make money, and that's how you make great content. That's what I believe. And because we're getting so constantly divided about things. I watch the news and it's like, Latina woman murdered. Why can't it just be woman killed her husband? Or like, black man, why can't it just be like a man shot? Why do you have to add a race? Why do you have to? Doesn't matter. He killed black, Asian, Chinese, whatever. He killed the person the same way. Let's keep it neutral, because we're constantly dividing each other, and instead of uniting each other to try to make stuff, we have all these like women filmmakers and black filmmakers that, well, why can't we just all get together and work together? I understand it hasn't been working, but we can try it. We can try it definitely and see what happens.
Tomorrow's a new day. The day after that is as well. But I want to ask Samara, as a woman acting, what are some of the hardships that you deal with? Now, of course, we think of the glitz, the glamour, the red carpets, and all of that. But there are such things as people like Harvey Weinstein, casting couches. What what is the day-to-day for a female actress, the good and the bad?
Okay, well, all of that's real.
Right.
Is the first answer to
very
your
real.
question. That's totally a real thing, a real concern. I feel as though if I were a man and I met a producer and he said, let's have drinks, I could very comfortably go to that meeting and not worry about it. But as a woman, I feel the need to push back and say, can we do coffee instead? Because I'm not sure what his intentions are. So that's definitely a very real thing. Ageism, as far as being an actor, is huge, like just an absolute reality for sure. I fall into I have big eyes and a round face, and so people like to kill me a lot.
Wait, what do you mean?
I mean, like
Like in films.
Yeah, like I get cast as victims all the time because it's like a little bit sadder if I die because I look like a fawn that just like walked into your headlights and was like, you know, like, and so I get cast that way a lot, and I hate it because it's like I don't feel like that as a
Right.
woman. I'm like a strong feminist. Like I don't feel like a victim in my life, and I
Right.
want to play strong women. But those opportunities aren't given to women who look like me as much. They're given to women who have like stronger jawlines and like look tougher, which is silly because how you look and how you are inside are
Right.
like
Totally
not
different.
related
At all.
things. So
That's why I'm so happy that you did this because I
yeah.
don't think. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like you've never done something like this.
Sweet
Not
Caroline
quite.
is
No.
this, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, sweet Caroline.
No. And then I'm also a filmmaker, and I think that as a female filmmaker, kind of what I experience is I shoot films that are actually from a feminist point of view, from a female lens, and I get a lot of pushback from men being like, I don't get it. And I'm like, well, that's because I didn't make it for you. It's kind of like, cool if you do get it. That's
Right.
really great. But, like, I actually made it for the other half of the audience that's really underserved because, like, I'm not trying to make a movie that everyone's going to like.
Right.
That's just not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make a movie that, like, you know,
It's also impossible. You
Oh,
can't
yeah.
please the masses.
totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay, so as you guys know, this is a show for Black millennials. It's like a happy hour, and being a millennial is about dream chasing and aspiring. So when did you guys know that you wanted to work in film, act, be in this industry?
I've never wanted to do anything else. My mom tells this story that when I was like 2.5 years old, I was playing in our backyard and we had a kumquat tree, and I would just like go out and play pretend, and I'm like up in the tree, and one of her friends comes over, and she's like, "Where's your daughter?" And she's like, "Oh, she's in the backyard in the tree." And so her friend comes out. She looks up at me in the branches and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm queen of the kumquat kingdom." Like, just totally, like, just buying it, just like 100% there. And the woman goes, "Oh my God, that's so cute. Do you know you can get paid to do that?" And I was like, "What? Tell me more." She's like, "It's called acting, honey. It's a job." And I was like, "That's what I'm doing. Sign me up. Where do I sign?" So I've just never wanted to do anything else.
Okay.
For me, I think that I ever since high school, like I wanted to try for plays, and then in college, I didn't know what I wanted to do, whether it was like science or whatever. So I went through all these major changes, and then I ran out of time. So I was like, I'm going to do political science because I only need to do 2 classes to transfer out, and then go to law school, which was the easiest thing for me. And I graduated, and I watched Black Swan, and I was like, I want to do that. How do I do that? So I googled the director. I googled the film, and then I learned what a director was and what a screenwriter was, and it came down to how do I do it. And then I think 2 weeks later I was shooting my first short film. But now that I look back, I think I've always wanted to be either an actor or an artist, because I went through so many changes in college until I ran out of time and said I need to get serious about this and do something. And it wasn't until I graduated where I said, you know, maybe I can give this a try. And then I did my first short film, and I got into all these festivals, and I said, well, I'm probably doing something right. And then, you know, I took a break, and then I came back again, and I've been doing it professionally since 2016, I would say. But it was that, and now that I think about it, I always tell people, if I don't do it, I can't breathe. Like, legitimately, I can't breathe. I've thought about quitting. Well, I haven't thought about it recently, but when I thought about quitting, it's just this feeling of anxiety where, like, what do I do? What I'm not good at anything else, you know. And then my mom doesn't know this, but I burned my degree because in my head it's like I don't have a second.
She does now.
Well, yeah, I don't have a second. I don't have a plan B.
There's no plan B.
Because it's always like, well, at least you have the degree for plan B. I'm like, yeah, sure. No, but you know, it's like if you tell yourself I don't have a plan B, you're gonna you have to make it. So I burned my degree. I did. I burned it. She always asked me where is it. I was like, it's somewhere in the storage. But I burned it because it's a mental thing where like I can't go back to this. I can't go back to it.
I hear that.
I have a question. What is the best thing, like when you're done with the script, when you're done with casting or anything, what is the best thing, like what's the best achievement that you get from actually finishing something?
like personal achievement, I think just doing it. Whether it is because the whole process is so from writing it to all the way to post production to sending to festivals. For a lot of directors is watching on the screen. To me, it's just doing it. To me, it's just knowing that it's the first day, and we're gonna create something together. And it's like it's so scary because you don't know if you're gonna get along with the crew. Well, I know I always do. Like I always try to make it as happy as possible. But a lot of people, you don't know how they're gonna react. You don't know what the team, if the theme of the film is gonna continue on. You don't know what's gonna happen. And if you're lucky, you create a family, and if you don't, it's okay. You don't always stay in touch with everybody, but to me, that's doing it. That's the biggest achievement of saying, okay, it's a new day. It's been a year since my last film. Actually, no, it's been a couple months since I shot my last film. This is for next year. We're doing it, and but it all goes back to me doing my very first film. Because that's when I started. To me, that was my big achievement. After I watched Tangerine and said, I can do that. I can grab a phone and I can do a film. And the moment I picked up my iPhone and shot my first feature film, that to me that's the biggest achievement because that's when I started and that's when I decided to do it.
Oh God, that was such a fun experience too.
Yeah.
As an artist, because I starred in that film, which is called Blue Line Station, and we shot it guerrilla style on public transit in LA, and it was mostly improvised. And as an artist, that is the most fun you can have, where you're just sitting around making stuff up. Everyone around you is kind of like, why is there a camera here? What is that sound thing? And they're like unwitting extras.
Reacting to what's happening. Like she's vomiting and she's about to vomit and like, oh, hold it, don't vomit here.
Oh my God.
So it's super cool because people, I don't know if they knew we were filming or not, but again, it's nice. It's really nice.
I think some of them didn't know for that one because someone's like, "You got this, baby girl. Don't throw up on my shoes."
Yeah.
And I was like, "I won't. I'm not actually gonna vomit at all." But cool, thanks, man.
Those are authentic reactions.
Yeah, totally.
Hey.
And if you guys want to watch it, the
Totally.
whole film's on YouTube. Yeah.
And what's the name of it?
Blue Line Station.
Blue Line Station on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Is that for out here?
Yeah.
Blue Line?
It was
Blue Line
on the
Station.
Blue Line.
Wow.
We saw
Yeah.
someone get stabbed.
We did.
Did you
What?
film
Yeah.
while
While recording?
No, while
did
recording,
not.
but we were waiting.
We didn't want to get subpoenaed.
Were they
I
denied
would have ran.
sex?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I don't
probably
think
were
so. I
denied
mean, they
sex.
could have been.
It's a thing, apparently.
Wait, what?
Yeah, apparently.
I don't know. Okay. All right. Well, we'll come back into some more questions. You guys dropping some more gems, but now it is time for Chris's topic of the day.
Yeah. Go ahead, Kelvin.
Shed some light on us. Wow. Okay.
Okay, so today's topic is called screen time. So if you updated your new iPhone, you got a new notification that's called basically it's an app. It's called Screen Time, and it tells you how long you've been on your phone for like a day. So mine the other day, I was on my phone for 22 hours, and I was sitting there thinking like, why was I on my phone for 22 hours? So basically, the question is, do you feel like your phone consumes you, or do you just feel like you're bored? I'm just on my phone. Like, do you feel and also if you do feel like it is consuming you, how do you stop being consumed by so much screen time on your phone?
I'm looking at my screen time right now. From what, yesterday?
Mine said 22 hours on Tuesday.
22 hours
How
on
do you look
Tuesday.
at that?
My last 7 days. What does it show me today?
It's an app.
Oh.
Yeah, it's an app on your. It's in the settings.
Oh, it's a setting.
So if you go, if you go to
Oh,
your
here it is.
settings
Oh.
and right under Do Not Disturb, it says Screen Time, and it will literally show you. This is from mine from I guess
mine
today.
today says 3 hours and 32 minutes.
Yeah, I've had an hour and 47 minutes so far, but I did look at it before, and I seen that a lot of my stuff comes from my social media. It's usually like me on Instagram or Facebook, scrolling,
Mine's my
being nosy.
GPS.
Update your phone.
Your GPS?
Is it?
For sure.
Mine
That's
went
like
down
80%
because I
of
turned off my
time.
notifications because I kept getting.
Yeah,
I have to.
but I think that's a good question. Like how do we?
Because like with mine, right, it says an hour and 44 minutes of social networking, which I'm sure that means I'm on Instagram or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Then it says creativity. Maybe that's when I made that iMovie the other
Uh-huh.
day. And then entertainment. I don't know what that means, but
That's
Probably
like watching a
music.
movie or
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
so I'm like, how do we?
You
Like,
actually
are
you
we-
can even break it down even more to the actual apps.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, I think the best way that we can.
Well, do you feel like you're being consumed?
At times I do, and one is because what my job is. Like I have to be in the know of what's going on, and how I get most of that news is Instagram, Twitter, staying up on trends and things of that nature. But I also think that a lot of times I find myself in a hole. You ever just start like, do you click on one page, and then like, who
takes
is this?
you
And you
to
go,
20
and then
pages
you go
later.
through, you go to the
That's
comments.
Wikipedia for me.
And that's Wikipedia. You just get a
Hardcore.
whole.
Hardcore. And then suddenly you're like reading about dog breeds in the 1800s. And you're like,
Yeah.
how did I
Right.
get here?
Where's my life? No, mine starts with I'll look at a picture, then go to the comments. That's a funny comment. And then click on that profile, and you look at it. Oh, what is this? They tag this person, you tag
Right.
another person. Now you like 15 people deep from when you started. I'm like, I don't even know these people, but I'm gonna follow. And then you follow all these random people, then you have to go through an unfollowing feed, a spree, and stuff like that.
Right.
Which I went through recently because. Not because like I felt like I was following too many people, but my timeline had took a drastic change. I'm like, I don't even know these people, and like some of the things that they are posting is not cohesive to my well-being or my mental stability. Like, why are you even posting? I don't care about your breakups. I really don't care about like the craziness that's going on, these crazy memes, and like I have to really draw back because for me, I think mentally I'm strong enough to not take hotline bling.
The ghetto.
I'm mentally strong enough to not internalize all these things, but I can understand how social media can really start to get depression and things like that. Even with Kanye's crazy ass, all the stuff he's saying, I think he may be actually on to something with taking off the follower count and the like meter, and like just literally just have the pictures up there.
You know what? I didn't want to say this because it means I'm giving my best friend. He's right. We had Nicholas. We were talking about this the other day because I posted a photo about my series, and I kept going back, and he's like, "Why did you turn off your notification if you're still gonna go back?" I was like, "Well, look," I was like, "This time this photo got like 1,000 likes," and I was like, "That's cool." He's like, "You're constantly looking for validation." I'm like, "No, I'm not." It's like I don't need to be validated by anybody. To me, it's just like if I'm growing as a filmmaker. I'm getting more people interested. That opens more doors for me. So then we sat in we were in my bed, just kind of like thinking about our project. And I'm like, fuck. I was like, you're right. I was like, I think we are constantly seeking validation. And we have this blog where we're constantly we sit in the car and we just record each other. And I'm like, we are looking for validation always. Like, and it's a thing, and it's not bad.
No, it's real.
You know, but this is what social media has. Well, I'm not gonna blame social media because I guess I could control it. But yeah, it's a thing, and it's like, and when like I don't know, like. Certain people in the industry start following you. I'm like, oh, that means they've seen my work and they like it or whatever. And it's like, no, they're just following you. Like, relax. It doesn't mean anything, you know.
Even though there's nothing wrong with that thought, because I've done it a few times. I look at Instagram at night. Like that's my favorite activity. Actually, I'm not gonna say that. I'll put I'll put headphones on in my state and I'll scroll through because it's my portfolio, and I feel like. Not so much the likes, but just being able to go through content that I've created, like bundles of content, is just like, it keeps me going. Because most times, a lot of us are working jobs to sustain. And you lose your way because you're just like, I'm giving all my time and my energy to this place that doesn't give a damn about me. What am I doing it for? So for me to be able to scroll through all of my work and see that other people react to it, comment to it, it's like, this is my contribution to the world, and this is why I keep going back to this job. This isn't forever. This can be my forever if I keep going. So I don't think that there's anything wrong with social media in that sense, or at least looking for validation or encouragement. But it can be really toxic. And I think the toxic part is when people use it with malicious intent to bring themselves up, because now it's becoming a thing to bash people in the comments in the hopes that you'll hit 1,000 likes, and that's the part that's toxic. But I don't think there's anything wrong in reaffirming yourself through social media. It shouldn't be your only source of self-confidence, but it's...
So now we have a thing, like when we're in the car or whatever, we're just hanging out, we don't look at social media at all. And when we do, we like punch each other.
But I've learned I've really had to get better at detaching myself from this device right here, because I really would be at a dinner or be just out and in my phone, and I look up and everybody else is in their phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so why did we even come out?
Yeah.
Right.
So I've learned to just now my phone's always on do not disturb.
Yeah.
And Chris asks me this all the time, like, why is your phone on do not disturb? Because like if it's not, it's a distraction.
It's like
if
I have my favorites, so if you know I favorite certain people, like you know, and then I'll put it on do not disturb, and if it's important, they'll either way after 3 calls it'll ring.
It'll ring.
Yeah.
So I just think I don't know. we put so much power in these devices.
I took the summer off social media.
Did you?
And it was great.
The
It
whole
was
summer?
The whole summer. I realized at the end, I was like, oh my God, I haven't tweeted or posted on Instagram the entire summer because I was like just busy living my
But
summer.
you're also
Right.
even like you're not like very social media like all the time, right?
Never. No, I
Yeah.
never have been. It's always felt like a chore to me. It's felt like an obligation, like something I
hear
have to
that.
do as an actor.
Right.
And now I'm like, oh, I took the whole summer off and now I have to promote this film. Damn. Like I kind of feel like I shot myself in the
Sometimes
foot
I
a
think
little.
about just shutting down my social media and see what would
Yeah.
happen, and I don't do it because my team says don't do it, and
Yeah.
but I'm just like, I'm just a director, like. People don't need to see me. People don't need to know me,
But you guys are in the spotlight. I mean, look
Yeah.
at
I
Ava
know.
DuVernay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People follow people because there are people that want to follow in your footsteps. So it's just like, okay, I'm not trying to be in front of the camera. So what do you do every day to get where you are? So it's like we all have knowledge to drop, and there's something for everyone to follow. I was gonna ask you though, Samara. I was like, how does that affect you as an actress?
Okay, so there's this big myth that like it's really important if you're an actor to have great social media. And the truth is, if you're like a YouTube star or you're in charge of your own content,
Right.
then yeah, that's true because like you're promoting your YouTube show
Right.
or whatever, right? But if you're like an actor who gets cast in things, like you're like a professional working actor who's trained, they don't care. They don't care. They're not going to not put you on NCIS because you don't have 10,000 Twitter
Yeah.
followers.
Right.
They're just
Okay.
not.
You know what? And that's the thing too. That is so true. Again, my best friend who's an actor, he went to do an audition for this thing, and he's like, yeah, and I think I nailed it, and everything was great. He's like, but Jorge, then the casting director's like, so how many followers do you have on Instagram? And he's like, and I just felt so shitty. No, he didn't use the word shitty. He's like, I felt like I lost it. And it's true because it's all run by
It's
Donnell.
really sad because
Right.
I've been in the same rooms with a lot of these Instagram stars, and whatever
no
they
talent.
do, they have no talent. What translates on Instagram does not translate in real life or to like the actual entertainment industry.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting to think that if this app was gone, so would they.
Yeah.
So I think that
Yeah.
even like with our own personal lives, if you're not an influencer, quote unquote, if that app was gone, you're still going to have to be you at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So like those little red hearts and those little followers, they really don't mean anything. You don't. The odds are you will never meet everybody that's following you that you're following.
like all those people that make those like comedy video skits or whatever, it annoys me that they'll have like Netflix movies and they're starring in them. I'm like, but you're not an actor. You
Yeah.
can't even act.
Right.
Yeah.
And I can name a few.
I'm sure
I can
you
name a
and
few,
Kelvin
too.
could.
It's like Friday and last night. Like hypothetically, yeah, I probably should have like taken a picture of this amazing dinner or taken a picture in the like helicopter
I
and
feel that
posted
way,
it.
too.
But then I'm like, why? This is my experience for
Oh,
me.
the helicopter,
Like,
I would have shot that.
But
I just kind of feel like I'm not getting paid to advertise this company for them. Like,
and even then, they'll never
Yeah.
see it the way you do. If I'm in
Yeah.
the helicopter, you're not seeing Los Angeles the way I'm seeing it.
or
yeah,
like even
and it's
at-
also
okay.
like it's distracting me from the
From the
experience. I want to live it.
That's
Right.
exactly at the Beyonce concert.
Everyone's with their phone.
Everyone's with their phone.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't even record the whole
No. I just said at the Beyonce concert, I want to see if he's gonna react because
Jay-Z
Jay-Z was there. I started recording during DJ Khaled. I was like, okay, cool, and I recorded like the first song of them coming out, and then after that, I was like, no,
Yeah.
I'm putting my phone down. Like I want to live in this.
Someone's gonna record it better than you could
Yeah.
anyway.
Right.
And I was
Someone's
like,
getting
I
paid
want
with
to
a camera.
live in
Right.
this
Yeah.
moment. I want to appreciate all the art, all of the being that is going on right now.
Especially if you're paying so much to go see. I don't know how much it costs, but
An
I'm
arm
pretty
and a
sure
leg,
it's expensive.
bitch. An arm
You
and
know?
a leg.
So yeah, so that was like I think I'm gonna start doing that with more of my concert experience because I love to go see a live concert, and I think so many times I'm like, oh, I need to put this on there and let other people see it. No, buy your ticket, come out and show it. I want to live in this experience because I'm never gonna go back and watch that video.
Yeah.
I've never.
Yeah.
It's really just to show people that you
That you were there.
finesse the Beyonce concert.
That
That's
you
the
were there.
world we live in.
Yeah.
The kids looking for validation.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. But
Yeah.
Like, I just basically feel like if we have an in-person conversation about it, cool. Then I get to like kind of share that experience with you by
Right.
talking about it. But you seeing that I did it, that's like not really me sharing that experience with you.
And then
Like,
the videos
not.
are trash because I'm singing all out and you can't even hear B. It's just me. This is my concert.
That's how you should label it.
Like the Kelvin concert.
Yeah, exactly.
Featuring Beyonce.
Yeah, exactly. Beyonce lip syncs Kelvin.
Right, that's what it is. So like, no, just live in the moment. I think that's what we forget to do when we have our social media open and our phones open.
Yeah.
It's just like we're forgetting to live in the moment, or even how to have basic conversations. Like Chris, you
Right.
did a whole thing about how to slide in the DM, but like I thought about that. Like that's great because a lot of times people are shy to talk about it. But like after you get the number out of the DM and it's time to go on a date, what happens?
Conversation
What do you
can
mean?
be stale at
Like,
times.
yeah, well, like if you can't have the conversation, then what's going on? Because we're so
Well, the
used to, like,
conversation happens before the date.
no,
No, like when you're in the phase now of getting to know each other on this date, if you don't have anything to bring to the table,
okay.
I'm not saying nothing wrong with sliding in the DM.
Well, maybe
I
you'll
was
keep
saying
DMing each other across the table.
this is like
that's-
what happens
that's
like when we're
tasteless. You're paying the
when
bill
we
because
hit
we're
face
wasting
to
time.
face, like face to face conversation.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
How do you know that their friend isn't the one telling them what to say?
Yeah,
Thank you.
That it isn't like a Cyrano de Bergerac
Yeah.
situation where they're
Right.
like, now say this, he'll really like it. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
And that is a thing.
And then you
Yeah.
bring the friend to the date.
Yeah.
But they sit
Sitting
behind
at
you,
the table
Right.
next to
right
you.
behind you.
You got
It's
an
like,
earpiece.
Yeah.
It's the trash. So I just think that even like with just basic human interaction, like when we get in the Uber now, Chris hates that I talk to the Uber drivers. But I talk to the Uber
I hate
drivers.
it.
I have to
It's
know.
the entire ride, and I want to sit there and take me to my destination. That's it.
Put headphones
I
on.
want to
Sometimes
know
I don't
who's
have them.
driving me. I want to know about these people's stories.
Yeah.
Or like what's so weird to me is like, or like when you're waiting in line and everybody's heads down in their phone. People used to talk.
Yeah.
That's how people used to meet people. That's how
Uh-huh.
people network. Like if I'm waiting in line, hey, how's your day been? Now everybody's just in their phone until they get up to the cash register and they're still on their phone. Then they finally look up and like, oh, okay, I have a number 5, and it's right back to their phone.
It does like really denormalize strangers talking to you
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
way that's like not healthy anymore. You
At
know what I mean?
all.
Like because now I assume if anyone talks to me in public that they want something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you
Instead
know.
of just saying hi.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Like if I pass somebody on the street and they say hi, I'm like, what do you want?
I don't have anything for you. I'm not buying your cookies.
Yeah.
I don't have any change. Leave me alone.
Nothing.
I would buy the
Yeah.
cookies.
Would
Well,
you-
I mean, if it's a Girl Scout, if it's just like a guy with a
A
shopping
grown
cart,
man.
then I'd be like,
With
no.
With the $60
Yeah.
cartons of
Right.
cigarettes.
Yeah, if Florida man's trying to sell me
Yeah.
cookies, I'm not buying those cookies.
Like, I don't want it.
No,
Yeah,
absolutely
don't
not.
buy that cookie.
Got it. I don't feel consumed by my phone, but I do think that there are times where, because of what I do, pushing my own brand, that I'm always in my phone and I'm aware of it. So there are times where people will text me and call me, and I won't. I've been on the phone too long. I need me time. And then it separates me from society as a whole. So like, if you call me, most times, unless I know that you're calling me for a reason, no.
Yeah, I used to have the thing I had to respond to a text within like that first minute.
Oh man, I used to
Like
do
I,
that.
and now
Hardcore.
I used to feel
Yeah.
bad,
Right.
but now I'm like, I can answer it a little bit later, unless
Yeah.
it's like somebody that I'm like having a whole
But
ass
if your
conversation.
phone is
Yeah.
in your hand, respond.
No.
I have 32 messages that I haven't responded to. I honestly, if it's important, like I'll read it and be like, okay, cool. Like I don't have to respond
Yeah,
to you.
certain people I'll answer. Like
Yeah.
if y'all
Right.
text me, I'm gonna respond.
Right.
But like other people, I'm just like, okay.
Because sometimes you know
Like this.
your schedule for the day, and if someone
won't
someone
even
texts
answer
you
that.
that is a talker, it's like, okay, I know I don't have 25 minutes to spare right now, so I'm not gonna respond to this. Some people, you just know how long that conversation is gonna go for.
Oh, that's a fair point.
Yeah, so I'll just be like, all right, I'll wait till I get home and I'm sitting in one spot, and then we can have this conversation. Because there's no point in you calling me and we're having, or what you think we're having, a decent conversation. I can't even carry it because I'm running to the bus.
I'm just curious how many other people do this. I don't do this very often, but sometimes I'll catch myself. You'll put on something to watch on like Netflix, and then you just spend the entire time like looking at your phone anyway.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
did I
Like,
even
If
watch
if
that?
it's boring, I do that. But
Yeah.
like if it's something I actually want to watch, I don't pick up my phone.
And also, I don't think we have enough us time, and I think that's why mental stability is like all over.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we don't have the time to honestly sit down and be like,
Yeah. Life used to be quieter.
Decompress.
Decompress.
Well, now we
like
have all
from
these
everything
things.
else.
Like I don't know. It's just like all these platforms to watch things and do things.
You know what else? We have 12 apps to talk to the same 12 people.
Yeah.
I think that is so interesting. Like we have a text, and then like if I text you, and I'm gonna go on Twitter and I'm gonna tweet you,
That's
and then
weird,
I'm going on
yeah.
Instagram, I'm gonna like your picture, and
Yeah.
I'm on
So
Facebook,
do
I'm gonna like
you-
that picture. But it's like
Then I
it's the
can snap
same. Yeah, I'm gonna snap you, and we have the same followers on all these platforms.
Okay, because I'm not good with social media, I kind of feel like if you're not actually in my life, if I don't see you, it's like you're not, even though if we're like connected. So I'm curious for you people who are like really on it all the time. Do you feel like you can not see somebody in 4 years, but because you've kept up with them on social, like you still feel in touch with them?
Yeah, that's the thing too.
That's
Or
so
I can
interesting.
feel like I don't know you. Like if me and her just followed each other
Yeah.
like a year ago, but I will know his life because I've learned him through his Instagram post. So like us meeting for the first time, it's like, hey, what's up? It's like
it
we
does.
create
It's
these
been
new
that.
friends.
Trips me up when I meet somebody and they're like, "Oh, I saw you're working on this," and I'm like, "What?" Like, "Oh yeah, because of social media." Because I don't look at anybody else.
Or it's the other way around. The people that you follow on social media and then you meet out in public and you don't speak.
Oh,
That's
Those
weird.
are the ones that
That's
trip me up.
weird.
I'm
The one
like,
they
why?
like your pictures, you like their pictures. Y'all may shoot a comment back, but then y'all
know
see each
what?
other in
Yeah.
person. It's like, but I don't blame them because
'Cause we don't really know each
I'm
other.
the same way too because I may see
I
some
do that
people I
too,
follow
yeah.
out in the club, and I'm not about to go up to the club like, "Hey, what's
Oh, I
up?" And then
will.
you're like, "What the?
Yeah.
What are you talking to me for?"
I
Like,
think
what's
that's
going on?
one of the weird side effects of social media. Like we have this fear of
Talking to people.
rejection. Like
Yes.
you feel like
Yeah.
if you walk up to someone, oh, they're gonna curve me, or you wave to someone, they don't wave back, and then your self worth is all hurt.
But I think that's also an LA thing. Like everybody I'm talking to, I'm not trying to get with you. I think that's a
It's
thing.
it's
not
more of a
LA,
human thing.
it's-
'cause
yeah.
We're so accustomed to not sharing our feelings. I was talking to my Uber driver this morning about that.
Good.
Yes.
See,
Yes.
talk to
He
your
was-
Uber driver.
He was talking about ghosting, and I was like,
cool.
cool. But no, like in the past week, I've been going to a lot of theater, and I've been there's this festival going on, and I've met 3 guys who I known that we've been social media friends, like Facebook, for like 4 years, and I call him out on it. I'm like, I know you. You look so familiar. Like, yeah, I think I auditioned for you. I was like, no. I was like, you're liking my pictures. You're my friend. And then I show them.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we are. I'm like, why'd you even request me if you're never going to talk to me? So now they become more involved in like what I'm doing. But it's funny. We have to like talk to people. Like if you
Yeah.
if they
Open the
look
conversation.
familiar. I mean, well, be careful. Don't come off creepy. But
Yeah.
please.
yeah.
Don't let that be the first thing. Hey, I follow you on Instagram.
right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, thank you, bye.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one, Chris. That was
Thank
really
Look at
good.
you.
Sometimes sometimes.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Look at Carla.
Okay, so I have what I think is a quick if I told you that.
Okay.
And
Hold on.
I just want to get your
Hold
thoughts.
on. Hold on. Oh, ooh, child.
Ooh,
Ooh.
is Whitney
okay,
pulling
ready?
up to the party? Thank you. She's here. What if I told you that you had to determine whether it is easier to hate or to love? Which one would you say and why?
I have such a like strong answer to that.
Start it off.
I feel like it's much harder to love, but much more important. Like just 100%. Like I feel like actually loving another person is one of the hardest things that we can do, but it's what separates us from animals. And if we all genuinely tried to do that a little bit more every day, then the world would absolutely be a better place.
Okay, but why is it harder?
Because it doesn't feel natural. You know what I mean? Like we're self-interested, we're selfish. So it's like what we think of as love is usually just like self-satisfaction because like endorphins and stuff like that. Like it's like, oh, you feel good to touch, but that's not really what real love
Right,
is
it's not.
at all.
That's not-
Like I was just having this conversation where someone's like, well, because I said I felt that if you were making like over $200,000 a year, you had like a strong ethical responsibility to donate a lot of money to charity. And they're like, well, at what level do you feel like you have to start donating a lot of money to charity? And I'm like, honestly, like I wouldn't tell people this because I don't feel like I have any authority to tell other people what to do. But I kind of feel like no matter what income level you're at, you should donate what's hard for you to donate no matter what income level you're at. Like if you're below the poverty line, you giving $10 a month away is a lot of money for you. But you should still do it. Like you're not going to starve because of that $10.
Right.
And if you make $200,000, you should be giving away like $15,000 a year easily because you're not going to not be able to afford your Tesla because of that $15,000. You know?
Or even just giving back in other types of ways.
Absolutely. Like if you don't have money or time,
just time, energy.
kindness.
I agree with you, but I think it's easier to hate.
It is,
No, I said I
No,
think
yeah.
it's
Oh
harder.
no!
to
I
love.
think it's easy to love, and I think it's hard to hate. And that's just maybe me, because I feel like I'm just like me and the person I'm talking to got into it because like I gave a hug for too long. I'm a touchy feely like open person all the time, and I just feel like it takes a lot of my energy and time to look at you and be like, ugh. Like,
But
I don't
what's
like
the
your red
definition
hat.
of love to you,
I don't.
though?
Definition to me of love, because there's so many different levels of love.
Uh-huh.
So, like, for me, it is honestly giving an appreciation to someone else, whether that be romantically, whether it be like just like as a friend, or just like in passing. A simple hi and a smile is an act of kindness and an act of love.
Yeah.
And I feel like those things are so easy for us to do. But for me to like sit here and be like nitpick, like even like the comment creepers, like some people have to literally sit there on Instagram and Twitter and like type negative things all day. That takes lots of energy for me, at least. I have to think of jokes to say. I have to look at the picture twice to try to figure out what I don't like about it,
Right.
instead of just double tapping and moving on, or like just giving like, hey, congratulations. Those are the things that comes easier to me, and that's why I think there's so much hate in the world, because it's so much
It's
easier to do.
Yeah.
Like this, it's easier just to be negative and like.
But I also think it's harder to love because, again, we go back to the same thing. We're so accustomed to not showing our our feelings, and it makes it harder. I guess I don't know. I have no problem loving people.
I don't know.
It's
What
just
about you guys?
your views on the outside. I think for me, it's easier to love because, like, growing up, the level of self-confidence I had was so shot. So it took a lot of people reaffirming me, telling me, oh, I can see you in entertainment. Oh, you look cute. Nice eyebrows. The little things that really allowed me to kind of pinpoint things in the mirror when I was feeling really low. It's like, well, I do like your eyebrows. I think you're funny. And then all the affirmation I got from other people taught me how to love myself. So if it was like, if those people weren't around, I'd probably be a hot mess.
I did notice your eyebrows, by the way. I just want you to know that. Like, I actually was like, oh, those are some great eyebrows.
I love it. You see, that's what I'm talking about. So I think that because of the love I've received with other people, it's hard for me to do things like call people ugly and go out there and drag you if you don't need to be dragged, because a lot of the love I got kept me sane.
I feel like it's kind of hard to care in either direction because
Yeah.
most of the time I'm just like, cool, there's people. And that's like the extent of my feeling about it, which is why I don't interact a lot on social media because I'm like, I just don't care. I just don't care. Oh, look at your avocado toast. Don't care. Like, just do not.
Just keep scrolling.
Yeah.
What about you, Chris?
I mean, I feel like it really depends on what type of person you are. Because, like, it's a lot of people who can't, like, open up and actually try to love somebody. And because they're so stuck in their ways, it's so easier for them to hate them when not even knowing them or trying to get to know them. So I think it just really depends on what... I mean, me personally, I think it's more easier to love somebody. But I just think it really stems from the type of personality or the type of, like, feeling that you have within yourself.
Brittany
That's a big
says
part of
it's
it,
so
too.
hard to love, which is weird as hell. I don't know. I can see like romantically, because I feel like we all have a wall. Like, what's your intentions?
Right.
And
Like,
that's
what
the
are you
thing,
doing?
too. Love
Yeah.
doesn't have to be romantic.
Yeah.
all the
Right.
time. Like,
Totally.
it's just showing love to people. For me, it's like being there for the person and caring about it and asking if the person's all right and just being attentive about things, you know.
And that's the thing is that I think romantic love itself is kind of inherently selfish because
Right.
you get something out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's when you get to that point in a romantic relationship that you're doing something that you do not benefit from in any
Yeah.
way. That's literally just because it will help them or make them happy.
Mm-hmm.
That's like when it's really love and not just like infatuation or,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I don't believe anyone's first experience with love should be in a relationship. Because
No.
I don't automatically the relationship is not going to
No.
hit.
Yeah.
It's just not going to work.
Yeah, that's hard though because sometimes that's the way it goes.
I know.
If your
It's tough.
family it didn't work out well, then
Yeah.
I mean that's really going to be the first place you
Right.
experience it.
And that's where you typically go looking for it in people that may not be able to provide it for you, but you don't have anything to go off of. So
Yeah,
bad
so
relationships.
it is
and
what
then
it is, yeah.
it's the whole other conversation. But yeah, that was my If I Told You That for today.
Great.
Calvin?
Well, in this last 10 minutes, 9 minutes, guys, where are you now?
Wow.
So you're not...
You were
doing
serious.
speaking?
We have 9
Oh,
minutes.
Does that mean that you don't have it? Like, with that... Does
Right,
that
was
Yeah,
that
mean
legit?
nothing spoke to me this week.
What?
But I feel like a lot of things at this table were said that were gems that we can take and move on.
Oh yeah, definitely gems. Thank you guys for coming
Yeah.
through and blessing
Yeah.
us
Thank
with
you
them
for having
too.
us.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, where am I now? I'm definitely happy. I have some more projects to work on today,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to push myself to bump elbows with people that will help me further my career. Because I feel like when we were talking about when MLD came, about like what we could do to further ourselves today, and I feel like the interpersonal networking is something that I need to work on. Going out, handing out business cards, and just being in the environment and talking to people, which is not really a chore. It's fun, But the way I have compartmentalized it in my mind is like it's work.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's a necessity for me to push my brand, so I'm gonna make fun of it and go.
Yeah.
I feel good though. I feel really good.
Chris, where are you? Oh, you want me to go? I think I'm in a good spot. Hopefully, prayerfully, really soon, some good stuff will be announced and things like that. It's really weird because I'm taking over the Gold Gods for like the next 3 months.
Okay.
So like I'm in charge.
I'm so excited. Free
I know,
jewelry.
I know. So come by. The whole Good News Radio family, come out to the Gold Gods. I'm giving
We're
away
gonna
all
run
the
our mock
jewelry.
up in there.
Giving away all the jewelry for the next 3 months. Come
Right.
and
What is
come
the
and get
Gold
who
Gods?
The Gold Gods is a premium jewelry line. We specialize in premium plated and solid pieces. So we have a whole lot of wonderful things. We're located at 450 North Fairfax Avenue. And also you can shop online at thegoldgods.com if you want to.
I love it.
No, but like I'll be running the ship and that's kind of weird.
Is that in Little Ethiopia?
Yes, it's
Yes.
right up. It's right up street from
Yes.
Little
Cool.
Ethiopia. Uh huh.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's gonna be cool. I'm in a good spot. I cannot complain. Yeah.
And
I'm good.
and welcome back to the 14.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I did
meant to
2
talk
days.
shit about
Yeah,
you.
I did
You
2
did all of
days.
one episode.
I did 2 days. It was like,
And, it's hard. Consistency is tough. I know, like, a lot of times on social media, we want to push and post every day. But as human beings, sometimes shit happens. Shit happens, and you just bounce back from it. I get it. Trust me, because I was fucking up
It
all
was
of March
rough.
with my women's history raps. I went real strong for, like, 20 days, and then, like, 10 was like, oh, child, all
Yeah,
right.
I meant to talk so much shit to you.
I started off strong.
You did.
I don't even remember 2 days. I remember 1.
It was 2.
Calvin does this thing on Instagram stories where he'll recap 3 news stories
Yeah,
for
3
the
news
week.
covers. Every day.
And then on Friday, he put some music in the mix too. You
Yeah.
stopped doing that.
Yeah, I
that
did.
I was looking for.
Yeah, I'm going. You know what? Tomorrow
No, he's not.
we're starting back. We're gonna get a catch the 14
Okay.
starting tomorrow.
Good. That's how you got to do it. That's
Yes.
that encouragement. Now there's some accountability in there.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. How are you guys? Where are you
Jorge,
guys at?
Samara,
So we
where are
like
you
that.
guys?
When we say where are you now, like how are you feeling? Like what's your outlook for the next week? Like what's going on?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. This is like going to be a crazy 6 weeks between Sweet Caroline, my film Avowed, and my film Perchance, both of which are shorts that I made.
Okay.
Congrats.
Thank you. I have a film in a festival every weekend. So it's kind of crazy. And I've made a schedule of like when I need to promote what and like, oh, these emails need to go out. This post needs to happen and these postcards need to come out. So, yeah, so that's happening. And then at the end of that 6 weeks, I get to go to Cancun. So I'm like,
Yes.
it's like this
It's
reward.
like leading up to the vacation. That's
Yeah,
what that is.
exactly.
Please be safe in Cancun.
Oh my gosh, you have
Please be safe.
no idea. I got this like hilarious text message from a darling sweet woman who's in her 60s, and she's like, if the cartel takes a liking to your special beauty, they will stop at nothing to get you. And I was just
Aw.
it's sweet, but I was also like, models go there, right? like I'm gonna be like a 4 in Cancun on the beach.
No, Samara, you are beautiful. I
Yeah,
love to
thank
tell
you.
you.
No,
I love a good
I-
ginger.
You are.
I really
You
do.
are.
I really do.
I just mean that Giselle Buchanan or what the hell her name is,
I will- yeah.
also gonna be on that beach. Like I'm gonna be like just I guess if their
Did
type
you
is like
butcher her
kind of-
last name?
I don't know
Yeah.
her name.
I'm like, who the
Bunchin.
hell is Buchanan?
What's her
Bunchin.
name?
I don't
Giselle
know.
Bunchin.
Bunchin?
Right?
Is it Bunchin? Okay.
Buchanan sound like a killer in the bushes.
Same syllables.
Right.
Yeah. I had no idea. I wasn't sure. Whatever. That's how
Good.
little I care.
We don't get paid to promote her.
Yeah.
Jorge.
I don't get paid to promote it either. No, I'm just kidding. No. I'm actually really happy. A lot of great things have been happening, and my career is just taking off, and I'm living my best life right now.
That's right.
I'm super happy.
Yes.
Today's the last day of my 4th film. We finished today's shooting, and then I'm taking 5-month break to start shooting a series that I am starring in February that I wrote, and me and my best friend are in it, and again, it's about LGBTQ. So I'm really excited. And I'm happy. I'm just super happy.
Yes.
I was such in a dark period of my life in 2015. Then I feel like I was reborn, and it's just been great. So I'm super super happy. It's no longer been like looking forward to the week. I'm looking forward to my life. Like I can't wait to see what else happens because it's great. Yeah.
I also saw. Now I could be wrong. Are you doing work with HBO?
I just got a
can't
text
talk
about that
about it.
right now. It's that whole thing was so misleading, and I was just talking to somebody about that right now. They're like, "Did you sell it?" I was like, "No." It's like, "I'm coming for you, HBO."
Okay.
So I'm doing.
Got
So let me
it.
tell
I
you
was
what.
about to
No.
say.
And I did the correction because it was. I got a text from a friend. And it's like it's misleading. We talked to HBO. I was like, "Yeah, we did too," but I took it down. Where we're doing a series and it's being produced by Slay 5, which is a production company in LA. And then once we have all 8 episodes, we're bringing it to all the networks, which is what people do nowadays. It's no longer just pilot season. Like you'll create your content and then you'll bring the whole series. And if nobody likes it, then you just put it up on YouTube Red or whatever. But yeah, I mean, you know what I'm gonna say? Yeah, I'm working with HBO sometime soon in my future life.
Speak it.
that
Like,
shit into
yes.
existence.
Yeah.
You hear that, HBO? I'm gonna be working with you guys soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be at the premiere party.
Yes,
We're getting crazy.
We'll broadcast live.
But I'm so
Hey.
glad you brought that up because I actually I was talking to my friend about it and I was like, she was like, it's a little misleading. I was like, it's not misleading. I'm saying, I was like, did you read the press release? I was like, it says that we have no network, and I'm just putting it out there like, HBO, I'm coming for you. Like I'm not lying. Like
There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong
read the
with that.
press. I was like, read the damn press release. It says we have no network, but we're being financed by with Slay 5 and my company, and we're producing the whole series in February. But whatever, people just like to.
And
always-
if it's clickbait, it's clickbait.
Right.
Yes.
Your expression as you said that. I wish this wasn't radio right now. honestly.
Chris, how are you?
I'm good, man. Yeah, I'm just good. We're also me
You
and
got an
Kelvin-
orange today?
Right. Oh, bright.
Anyway,
Okay, Ray of
me and Kelvin are
Sunshine.
about to start this What the Oreo series.
I forgot
What the
about that.
Oreo?
I
So
didn't know he was
basically,
making an
You know how
announcement.
there's like a million different Oreos.
Sadly.
So we're
Birthday
each
cake.
week we're gonna, because we used to do this. Like we used to just try Oreos just to see if we like them or not. So basically, we're just gonna make that into like an Instagram series, Insta series,
Yeah, Insta
whatever,
series.
and just record us trying different Oreos.
I feel like
That's really
I'm a
cute.
big purist. Like I only like the original ones.
Yes.
Like
It-
I'm like,
yeah.
don't put anything in this Oreo.
it.
The only
Leave
new
it
ones
alone.
that I like is the chocolate chip ones.
Yeah?
but they stopped selling them.
Yeah.
Good. The red velvet. No, there are other
no.
cookies that have been doing that.
I've never tried the golden ones, but they don't look appealing.
How
to
many?
me.
A
Yeah, I'd rather
golden
have
Oreo.
Mother's cookies. You know Mother's?
Yeah,
Those are good.
that's the original. Like
Yeah.
a golden Oreo is just a remanufactured cookie.
It just don't look appealing. I mean, we'll try it.
We're
but
gonna try
Yeah.
all the
There's
Oreos
the mint one.
that we
There's
have.
red velvet. There's
Oh, we're
birthday
gonna go through
cake.
the
we're
line.
trying red velvet. on
We're
Wednesday.
trying Red Velvet on Wednesday. I never had it.
I can understand why mint would be good though. That one I'm like, I can get it.
You
it's like a
think?
thin mint. Like I get it.
Yeah.
I don't want to
I
like
don't
it.
want it.
But I
get
I
it.
can understand
Right.
that one.
Very that.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Well, as always, you guys can catch me on Instagram at The World According to Eric, on Twitter at Eric Devante, as well as Facebook and Snapchat at Picasso_3. Jorge?
I'm at Jorge Xalapa Jr., which is JORGEXOLALPA Jr. All
Also-
social media, the same, yeah.
Also tell us where we can
Oh yeah,
catch Sweet Caroline.
and Sweet Caroline's premiering this Friday at the Sunscreen Film Festival. I'm gonna give you guys some tickets that I brought for
oh,
everybody.
man.
La, la,
I-
la.
what?
I'll give you more. I brought two for each, but I yeah. But yeah, no, please come watch it. Yeah, just
Friday.
yeah. Send us a message and that you
Saturday.
can come Friday.
Saturday.
Sorry, Saturday. You can come
Saturday,
Saturday.
7:30.
Or you can come-
Hermosa Beach. Sunscreen
You can
Film
come to the
Festival.
Chinese theater premiere, which I think it's gonna be cooler. And it's gonna be on the
I'll
28th.
come.
They have
Oh,
really
yeah.
good premieres.
I'll
Yeah,
walk
they
right
I've done
in.
some red carpets there. Their
Yeah,
premieres are really
pretty
good.
cool.
Samara, where can we catch you on social media?
At Samara Howell, which is SUMMERAHOWELL, like summer, like the season, A like the first letter of the alphabet, and Howell like the people on Gilligan's Island. www.samarahowell.com, Samara Howell /actress on Facebook. And you can see Sweet Caroline at the Sunscreen Film Festival 7:30 on Saturday in Hermosa Beach, or you can see my short film Avowed on Friday, October 19th at 6 p.m. at
Yes.
LA Regal Live for the Downtown LA Film Festival. And then there's a lot of national screenings happening if you're not in LA.
You better
Booked
go off
and
worldwide.
busy.
Yeah.
Right. She's booked, honey.
I like how it sounds.
You can catch me on Instagram at Kelvinology. That's KELVINOLLOGY. Yeah. That's it. Kelvinology, yes. KELVINOLLOGY.
And on Twitter and Instagram, you can find me at CCCAW_. And as always, guys, I hope you guys got right.
That's right. Get it right or get left.
Bitch, you better get right.
Why don't y'all ever know that?
I know the order. I'm last.